Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. And for the censors out there that are responsible for the community guidelines, we always tell you at the New Health Conversation that everything we share with our audience is in the public domain. They can see it. We don't make claims. We certainly don't make outrageous claims. Everything we talk about is medically backed, medically proven. Number one, it's safe, and it's something that everybody can do. It's not some wild thing. So it's really important you understand. I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. I did 20 shows on public broadcasting, done over 1,500 live lectures around the world. So we provide absolute, solid medical evidence of everything we're talking about. We don't give people opinions, just to let you know. So, hello, Francis. Hello, Lisa14. Hello, Sahem, I believe that is. So right away, people come on and they see this 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. Is it a misprint? Is it fake? Is it AI? Is Photoshop? No, it's not. This is absolutely real. This new approach, which is really a the world's first nutritional systematic approach, that it was a combination, nothing to do with counting calories, zero, but a combination of foods, 30% from North America and 70% from exotic locations around the world in places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. And then the reason they call it a nutritional system is it then uses 2 completely new ways of consuming food that are based nothing to do with counting calories. Forget counting calories. It's over, it's dead, it's finished. So we'll get into all that in just a moment, but I'd love for anybody to comment, if you're willing to, if you were going to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? And see, everything that you've done up to this point or you're doing right now is some form of a diet or some form of counting calories. Well, the problem with that is the body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. It's one of the more ridiculous things we've ever done. I'd love for anybody to tell me if they know. Hello, Marla. Hello, Sherry, Michelle. Hello, Sandy. Lots of people joining us. Hello, Shah. If any of you like the content, tap on your screen so we start to get some likes going right away. So what we're going to teach you today is how in the world did she do this? Well, she didn't invent it. We didn't invent it. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Now, I know all of you want me get to the point, get to the point. Well, I need to give you a little bit of background. Otherwise, you're not going to appreciate how revolutionary this is and how it absolutely is going to change anybody's life who does it. I did it 23 years ago. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should excite you. So the point being that if you're looking at something like this as a way to lose weight and keep it off, that's part of it, but that's not the main thing. The thing that makes it unique, oh, there we go, we already got 150 likes. Are you open to the idea that you want to learn something? Are you open to the idea that if you learn how to do this, it could change the rest of your life? You'll notice a couple things. Right above our head there in blue, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website you can go to. There's nothing to buy there. And you'll notice above it, free coaching. That's not a joke. The coaching is free. The consultation is free. But it's important that you understand that we're teaching you what we were taught. We got coached. We didn't know how to do this. And the researchers who created this and us, or the coaches, nobody is selling it. We don't have anything to sell you. We don't have any products. You're going to buy food. And the thing that's so amazing about it is it was so simple, but it took them 40 years to figure out that what we needed was not the typical calories in, calories out, diet and exercise. Count your carbs, 10,000 steps. They did all that. These researchers are rated the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, not me, the #1. And they had done 100 studies, thousands of people, over 40 years to figure out that what we needed was a complete new nutritional system, a whole new way incorporating food and how we eat food and when we eat food and how much the food we actually eat. I just came on this epiphany today. I was figuring out what's the best way for me to explain it to the audience so they understand the significance of this and how it absolutely is changing people's lives. Do you think she's excited about 21 pounds and 38 inches in just 30 days? By the way, no exercise. They weren't allowed to exercise. They wear Fitbits. Now, the researchers aren't against exercise. But if they would have included exercise, then you'd say, well, she lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No exercise, zero. And yet, instead of losing any lean muscle, despite losing 21 pounds, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Because you've always heard this, it's unhealthy to lose more than a pound a week on a diet. Yeah, I agree. On a diet, it would be. Because we know based on diets, this will shock you, I hope. Whatever diet you're on, whatever weight you're losing or have lost, 25 to 40% of the weight you are losing is your lean muscle mass, which is doing what? A, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you plateau. That's why you gain all the weight back on all these diets. That's why you've yo-yoed back and forth, back and forth. But the other thing it does to you when you lose lean muscle, it slows down your own immune system. What are we doing, everyone? We have, see what we have is we have this single-minded focus. It's like, blinders on a horse. That's all we can see is like straight ahead. And what are they all telling you to do? Calories in, calories out. I'd love for someone to just say that you either agree or you get it. So Ghostbusters, Lisa, user 885, Viv, Jean, Gary, Love Life, Mills, user 681. The reason it takes a little bit to explain this, because it's completely different than anything you've ever done before. It's not about calorie counting. It's not about how many calories did I have today or how many calories am I cutting out. It's just, again, does anybody even know what the definition of a calorie is? I didn't 24 years ago. If you don't know what calories are, why are you counting them? I'm serious. I'd love for anybody to tell me, why are you counting calories? Because someone told you that's the best way to lose weight? Well, that's been shattered now. So the researchers said we need a completely new approach. And that's why they said we want to take advantage of basically, and they looked at it totally nothing to do with calories, totally to do with one of the three factors that keep you alive: air, water, and a third factor that if you need a minimum of or you wouldn't be alive, that's nutrition. So they said we needed a nutritional system that had nothing to do with calories. That if we believe we can find foods, we can give you less food by volume, but increase the nutrition. That's what they did. That was the theory. So they put it together with new food combinations. The researchers, you would get the list that they created in the studies. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. That doesn't sound too extraordinary yet, but no calorie counting. They calculated the serving sizes they wanted you to consume. And only 30% of the food you're actually going to consume will come from your grocery store. It's going to be in combination with these other researchers who had nothing to, these researchers that created this have no products, they don't sell anything, we don't sell anything. But these other researchers that spent 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where they found foods with huge amounts of nutrition. So now they had the basis, maybe we have a system that's not based on calorie counting, it's based on one simple principle: nutritional density. So the system was, how do we deliver the nutrients into your body without giving you excess amounts of food? That was a challenge. So what they did, they created, so it takes 7 days. Now this is until you lose your weight. Out of 7 days, 5 days, you do something called protein pacing, which means you're going to have 4 meals a day. You're going to start with these nutrient-rich foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That's your breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. Now, the pacing mattered. That's why it really was a nutritional system. So it was a systematic approach to eating is what it was. And they found, for example, that if they gave people the same amount of nutrition and they split it into 2 meals, it wasn't effective. It was like the body couldn't use it all. They found that the efficiency in the body was if you could spread the nutrition out. That's what protein, that's pacing. And they used protein, but really they were pacing the nutrition. That's what it turned out to be. So 5 days a week, you have 4 meals a day. Does it make sense to everybody so far? Then 2 days a week, again, part of the nutritional system, was they had her do intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time she had them 8 times a day. Again, spread out about every hour and a half. So between 10 and 12 hours, she was eating the food over the course of a day. Diabetics, no one had insulin spikes. No one, not one person. People weighed 300 pounds, 400 pounds. They weren't hungry. Because you have to understand, it wasn't just a question of giving you the nutrition. It was the spacing, it was the timing of it that made all the difference in the world. Because I know a lot of you like skip breakfast. Not on this, you're not going to. That's nonsense. And that time restricted eating where you stop eating at like 8 o'clock the night before and don't eat till noon the next day, total rubbish. Rubbish. It's just a low calorie diet. And that's the problem. All diets focus on just low calorie counting. They don't have a system. They don't have a system of, because it's not just, you understand everyone, it's not just what you're going to be eating. It's the spacing, it's the timing, it's the protein pacing. So 50% is what you're going to eat, but the other 50% is how you eat it. Then it becomes a system, right? It's a combination of these nutritionally dense foods eaten over a specific period of time. And instead of calorie amounts for these foods, you get serving sizes. I know it sounds too simple, but it took them 40 years to figure it out. So does anybody have a question on that so far? And then I'll share some other things with you. In 30 days, people's hunger went down 41%. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came crashing down in just 30 days. And here are the two big ones. Number one, all of us, including me, suffer from this new medical syndrome. It's called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for nutrition deficiency, O for overweight, S is for stress. What does it mean? It means that we're storing chemicals in our fat cells. Whether you know it or not, that's what we're doing. Because the liver, to a certain extent, deals with the chemicals, but it can't handle them all. Then the body, to protect us, takes the chemical and stuffs it inside your fat cell, and your fat cells expand. Look at her waist on day 1. Look at her waist on day 30 with no exercise. How do we know this? Because the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and muscle analysis, proving that this was what they call mobilizing the toxins. In other words, basically helping the body to extract the toxins out of the fat cells, and the fat cells shrank. Do you know we've all been told that you can go on a diet that you can burn fat, or you go to a gym and you're going to burn fat? It's a total fabrication. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and they expand or contract over your lifetime. How many of you complain to us? It's not how much weight you have, but how much fat you have in your body. And yet you continue to do these diets that just don't work because they're based on a single point of reference, calorie counting. Well, that's nonsense. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. So the researchers said we need a new approach. They call it a nutritional system, which it is. Because it was based on two things: the amount of nutrition in the least amount of food, and then how to consume that nutrition. Have you ever heard anything like this before? I doubt it, because no one's ever done it. And by the way, when they tried to do this just with like organic food from North America, it didn't work. Why? Because the food in North America, in case you didn't notice, well, I'll be kind and say it's nutritionally insufficient. Our food's becoming more and more and more lacking in nutrition. As we've created these huge yields of food, we've created huge amounts of food, but in so doing, through nitrates and phosphates and not turning the crops over. Now, the farmers, they're all cool with me. I'm good with the farmers. I'm just telling you the reality of the marketplace, right? But what if we sacrificed the nutritional density of the foods we're consuming? See, and you're going to tell me, I eat clean and I do organic. Nice try. The study that was done on 200 studies of people doing organic, and they found that organic was 10 to 15% more nutrition than regular food. So that's a start. And the main reason to do organic is less polluted. That's it. That's why these researchers, they tried, for 40 years they used organic food. They never produced anything like this, ever, ever. So the bottom line is that if you're in a position where you really want to change your life, maybe you need a totally new approach. The website you see right above our head there, the New Health Conversation. The only thing on that website is the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He and his team created this and proved it. They've got 10, listen to me, they have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies published in the biggest medical journals in the world. This is irrefutable evidence. They've cracked the code with a nutritional system. That's what it is. It's not lotions, potions, pills, supplements, calories, carbs. No. It's a systematic approach to us living our lives in the best possible way. Don't you want the best version of yourselves? Because no diet's ever produced anything like this. These researchers should know. Hell, they did 100 studies over 40 years. How much more evidence do they need to know that diets just don't work long term? Yeah, I'm kind of crazy. I'm passionate. People say, calm down. I'm not going to calm down. We're your advocates. We're trying to help you by doing what? Making you aware of what you could do. Or you can go back to paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, the shot, whatever you're doing. But if you're lucky enough to go on vacation and you go to the beach, I just was in Maine on vacation for about a week. I just came back 2 days ago. When I go to the beach, I'm saying, like, what planet are we living on? It's so sad. And don't think I'm fat shaming, because my own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I loved her. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy. One of my great motivations is because of my late mother, who 24 years ago called me up one day and said, you know, Peter, I have one wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend one day, just one day, thin. I said, Mom, that's really cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mother, in my opinion, dieted herself to death. I'd see her lose 20 pounds, gain 25 back, lose 25, gain 30 back. At the end, she was on high blood pressure medications and beta blockers, cholesterol medication, and it was sad. We didn't know what to do. Now we do. But do you all understand? We're talking about Johns Hopkins Medical School. I've got it right here to show you how dire this is, right? These aren't my predictions. Johns Hopkins Medical School predicts Johns Hopkins Medical predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. In 4.5 years, they estimate 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. So are you going to be part of the 86% or part of the 14%? This is the breakthrough. This will make every diet obsolete. If you're lucky enough to be on this podcast today, not because of me, but because of the knowledge that hopefully you're acquiring. And you can go to the website and right there, the New Health Conversation, and see all the medical proof for free. For free. And get coached for free. Sometimes I think, should I water this down because it sounds too crazy? No, I'm not going to water it down. You have a right to know. It doesn't mean you're going to do anything about it. Hello, Maria, Richard, Erica, Joanne, Favor, Olita, B, Kayles, I think it is. But again, can we get some more tap? We're at 164 likes. We've been 17 minutes. Come on. Unless you don't like the content, then don't tap. But who's coming to rescue you? Who? Because when I say rescue you, you're going to lose weight. I don't care what the diet is. The research has proved that. But what kind of weight are you losing? And they're saying in the studies, they have the evidence, 2/3 of you will weigh more than when you started on your diet in the long run. Does that sound like something you want to be doing for the rest of your life? Yo-yoing, or just surrender and say, no diet ever works and I'm just accepting where I am. You don't have to do that. In essence, I guess we're here to rescue you and say, look, here's the evidence. This is not an infomercial. This is an educational podcast where the only thing we're sharing with you is backed by medical proof and medical studies. I'll show you a few more pictures of people in the study. Look at Julie, everybody here. 35 pounds in 37 days. That's not a misprint. Look at that. That's about 7 pounds a week with no exercise. Look at how my body shrank. Again, I'm always shocked. No one wants to comment. I don't know, maybe they think I'm a bad person or I'm mean or I'm going to. No, I'd love to know your opinion. Is it fake? Is it a different woman? Is it AI? Is it Photoshop? Because it's not. And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine. This one you will think it's a different woman. 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her stomach area. Now you can think we Photoshopped it. I mean, it's my friend's daughter. I mean, you think I'm going to, why would I do that? The thing why we don't have to tell you anything that's not, everything we're sharing with you is backed by peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. This is a miraculous new nutritional system because it's not just food you're going to buy at the grocery store, which you're used to. And then it's a new way of consuming the food at very specific times and nothing to do with calorie counting. It's to do with serving sizes. I promise you're not going to be hungry. You'll be shocked like they were. Shocked. And by the way, the pictures, every picture I've showed so far, they're 8 or 9 years ago, and those people have kept the weight off. So my friend's daughter, she's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Now, I know you've also heard, when you get older, it's really hard to lose weight. Well, I want you to tell this gentleman that. He's 65 years old. Where do you see this, everybody? All I got to do is find it. Oh, I see. I go up high enough. Where's Curtis here? Oh, there he is. Look at that, everybody. 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. And look at his A1C, went from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. This is a nutritional, if anything, it's a quality of life system, but it really is a nutritional system because for the first time ever, they've combined, how can I say it, conventional organic foods with extraordinary foods with nutrients that are just not in those quantities in North America. How excited, forget, cut it in half. What if you could lose? Well, you saw, we already did that for you. Kristen. The thing about Kristen that's so cool, she only needed to lose 30 pounds. Look at, she lost 70% of what she wants to lose in a month. How many of you, please put it in the chat if you'd be kind enough. Help me out here. If you were going to lose 20 pounds, pick any diet, any trainer, any gym, how long would you give yourself? Hello, Mishra. Let's see, who else is on here? You, Shelly, 000 joined, Shivani. The thing I don't understand is that you're all quick to follow these other people. I see them on social media because I go and look, right? Some of them have 500,000, a million followers. But what they're telling people to do, the medical evidence says that 2/3 of them are going to gain more weight than they lost. I can't find I haven't seen anybody on social media with one peer-reviewed human trial study. See, if it was that good, why wouldn't they have peer-reviewed human trial studies? Well, the main reason is when you do a peer-reviewed human trial study, the point, what's called peer-reviewed human trials, means on human beings, but it's reviewed by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, not the researchers who did the research. And you know what their job is? To discredit what you're proving. So the claims that they're making, the false claims they're making, would be exposed. What's sad is, I would say 99% of you, even being exposed to this information, you're going to go back to keto, paleo, Mediterranean, because we've been so brainwashed about calories in, calories out. That's a single point of reference focus. The research has said that's not good enough. We need to come up with a nutritional system, protocol, eating patterns, all combined into one. And that's what they created. Do you understand, all of you, that whatever diet you're on now, you're going to lose weight initially? But do you even consider that what's the weight that you're actually losing? Well, every study, and I have them here, 25 to 40% of what you're losing on any of these calorie counting schemes, that's what I call them, is lean muscle mass. When you lose lean muscle, you're going to slow down your metabolism, you're going to gain all the weight back. But worse, when you lose lean muscle, you're also slowing down your own immune system. So you're literally making yourself unhealthy by the very success you think you're having on the diet, because the only thing that we're focusing on is the number on the scale. None of the studies, and there are studies done on calories in, calories out. That's all they ever talk about is the number on the scale. There's nothing about the body composition. There's nothing about a visceral fat or subcutaneous fat or lean muscle or liver enzymes or cholesterol. I mean, they're just not there. And if they are, they're in minuscule improvements. This had such, I'll read some of the results. So in a month's time, they shrank fat by 11%. I told you lean muscle increased 6 to 9%. Blood sugar went down 6.2%. Insulin, never seen before, went down 41% in a month. When they talk about insulin, they talk, your body, it'll tell you if you're a diabetic how much insulin you need. Well, the need for insulin went down 41% in a month. Cholesterol went down 15%. LDL down 13%. Triglycerides down 24%. Hunger came down 41%. And most women lost a whole dress size. And men lost 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week. A week with no exercise. I guess I'm floored. You all have the opportunity to go to the website's right above our head, the New Health Conversation. I don't know why you wouldn't go there. Do you think, because we're not going to contact you. If you go there, that's for the world to see. The medical proof, not our studies, other people. It's there. And if you decide you like what you see, you can get a free coach. Free coach. And 70% of what you'd buy in a month comes with 100% money back guarantee from those researchers who supplied those nutrients from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. What? Yeah. See, it's too good to be true. I know it is. I know. What's the other shoe? What's the catch? There's no catches. The coaching, for example, they say, how much is the consultation? Zero. How much is the coaching? Zero. I would love for anybody, you won't do it though. I don't know why. Tell me what diet you're on and what kind of success you're having. Like, how much weight did you lose over what period of time? Back? Are you frustrated? Are you looking for a real solution for the rest of your life? We need a new nutritional system. We need a brand new approach. We have to have a whole new way of doing things because what we're doing is not working. Unless you think in 4.5 years, 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. And yet you're following these influences that are giving you nothing but opinions and a lot of shh, but no facts. I'm sorry, I'm a researcher, I go on facts. We're so inundated with the concept of calories in, calories out. I liken it to 550 years ago when the smartest people in the world said what? The world's flat. Now they're telling me the only way to lose weight is a calorie deficit. Well, my God, when you got to Harvard Medical School saying stop counting calories, and they said we've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math, cut calories 3,500 and you lose about a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. That's Harvard Medical School telling you stop, the title, stop counting calories. That's not me telling you that. And yet you're going to go back and you're going to count calories. I know you are, because I know how many people come to the website and end up with a coach. But almost everybody goes to the website, wants to do it, because they see the medical proof. We're not there. There's nothing to buy on that site. So if you think you're going to go there and you're going to get a phone call from us or get harassed, no, that's not what we do. We're not involved in anything like that. So again, who would like to ask me a question? Oh, the Mustard Seed Foundation, Dr. Manhattan, not Ron Swanson. Who else is on here? Oh, Mama, Wanda Mendez. Lots of people joining us. And can we get some more taps? We've been stuck at 164 likes for the last, 10, 15 minutes. Unless you don't like the content, then don't comment. But you see, the problem that we're facing is that I talk to a doctor, talk to a dietitian, talk to a nutritionist. They're going to show you how you can cut your calories. I question, why aren't they saying that the calorie is completely meaningless to the human body? Your body has no idea what a calorie is. Why would they be telling you to cut calories and ignore the three things that keep us alive? Our air, which we can breathe, water, which we can drink. And it's not calories, the third thing, it's nutrition. And I'm trying to be reasonable with everybody in terms of just saying, look, we're handing you education. It's not ours. These are the top weight loss researchers in the world for 40 years, and they're the ones that created this. Don't you want to know that you have the wherewithal now to change your life with the world's first nutritional system? It's a nutritional system. It's not supplements. It's not lotions, potions, pills. It's not like, oh, we're just going to eat organic food. We're going to limit. No, it doesn't work like that. Because what they found, the researchers, 50% of their success was what they call these new eating patterns, part of this nutritional system. And it made all the difference in the world. And they got a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, of what's called protein pacing. They proved it medically. They did blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle analysis, along with liver enzymes and lots of other, including measuring inflammation. No diet has ever lowered inflammation a scintilla. This, they measured inflammation, which is measured technically it's through something called T bars, like a T bars, and then what they measure is interleukin-1 and C-reactive protein, in case I have any medical people on here. It went down 25% in a month. These researchers in 40 years had never seen anything like this. That's why, do you think we need a complete global reset of the thinking? Here's why I would tell you that. The Lancet, the biggest medical journal in the world, conducted a study in 2024. They now estimate 1 billion, with a B, billion people worldwide are clinically obese. Not just over, so it's not the United States anymore. And they said, making obesity, this is the journal saying this, not me, making obesity the leading form of malnutrition in the world. What? If people are obese, how could they be malnourished? Because, again, they're not getting, the body doesn't give a damn about a calorie. It cares about it cares about minerals, nutrients, botanicals necessary to optimize the functionality of your own body. People are running on sugar and simple carbohydrates, potato chips and pretzels and pizza, all of which I like and I still can have, but I don't eat anywhere near what I used to before because my cravings have all changed. I'd love for anybody to comment. Does this make sense to any of you? Maybe it doesn't. The fact we're stuck at 164 likes, that tells me a lot. All you have to do is tap on your screen if you like the content. If not, then go to, I know you're going to go back to keto, paleo, Mediterranean. But again, right here, why you shouldn't count calories. Our researchers reviewed what they said discovered while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. They went on to say, counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. If that's not enough, here's Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments because they're trying to bring healthcare costs down. And that they went on to say, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments, diets are not the answer. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. So you're doing it in spite of the science. You can't say now you didn't know. You can't pretend, I didn't know that. No, you know it now. And the majority of you is still going to go forward and you're going to do paleo or keto or Mediterranean or time-restricted eating or water fasting or count your macros. It's all silliness. None of it works. None of it works long term. This is because the researchers, they did 40 years, 100 studies on all those things. And they never found one of them. Oh, everybody lost weight initially. But 2/3 gained more weight than they lost. And what they realized, the weight that they were losing, 20, 30, 40 pounds, 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass. This is not something I'm making up. That's what you're doing on whatever diet you're on right now. You're losing 25 to 40% of your lean muscle mass. That's why you complain about on the body, about how much weight you have or how much fat you have on your body. So, hi, Jan's Dragons and Chloe Kalash 8. I see all of you. Say hi to Jay and say hi to Harry and Emp, I guess it is. Harry and Emp. Okay, hello. And Chloe and Alvin. But I'd love to have some interaction. Does anybody want to make comments? Does anyone want to, look, you can disagree with me. It's fine. As long as we have a civil discussion. But, I have some people that want to call me names. I just won't tolerate that. It's not necessary. Well, what good? The science doesn't care about me. So, like, criticizing me, you're criticizing 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that are irrefutable medical evidence, meaning they've been reviewed by the top experts in the world to prove, is it real or is it fake? Is it safe? Is it not? It'd be one thing if it was in 1 or 2 journals, but when you're talking about 10, that's what they call overwhelming evidence, overwhelming force of medical proof. Again, I come back. If any of you wanted to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? This is not a diet, everybody. So we got a lot of new people now. I'm going to explain again what they did. You can listen or not. It's up to you. Researchers said the fallacy of all the approaches with diets was they only focused on calories in, calories out, a single point of reference. The problem with that is the body doesn't know how to count a calorie. The only thing our body cares about is nutrition. So could they come up with a system that would find foods? The number one criteria was nothing to do with calories, what they called nutritional density. That was a theory when they started these studies about 13 years ago. And it took that long to make it out to the public domain. Believe it, that's why nobody wants to do peer-reviewed human trial studies, except maybe the drug companies. So 30% of the food she consumed on this in the first month came from the researchers. You got a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, they gave serving sizes. Now, this sounds complicated, but you're actually going to get a list of the foods and the sizes. It's all laid out. You don't have to guess. We got the same thing because we were coached. We didn't invent this. We had to learn how to do it. But the other 70%, and here's what made it so unique and why it becomes now a nutritional system. Because these other nutrients, okay, came from other researchers who'd gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Now, here's what was part of a system. A lot of those nutrients were, you'd make it like as a soup or as a tea, or you'd mix it with water. Totally different than what we're used to. Now, you're still having proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, from your grocery store. But in order to give you these massive amounts of nutrition that made this work, they found these sources from around the world. So now they had two parts of this. They had food from the grocery store, normal, I call chewable food, and we had these exotic foods around the world. Some were chewable and some were made in the liquid, okay? Let's just say that. But then the other part to make it the system was the consumption model. How did they consume these foods? Because the rules had now changed. Because the researchers realized they didn't have to worry about giving people enough food. They only had to worry about giving them enough nutrition. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these nutrient-dense foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That was breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store, chewables. Dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic nutrients from around the world. That was 5 days a week. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these nutrient-dense foods from around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was literally eating every hour and a half to 2 hours over the course of a day. Well, diabetics, for example, no one had an insulin spike. People who weighed 300 and 400 pounds, nobody was hungry. And look at the results. That's real. She lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in just 30 days with no exercise. No one was allowed to exercise because the research didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, you would have said, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. I understand you're all unbelievably skeptical. You're having a hard time wrapping your head around this. But if you like the content, do me a favor and tap on your screen. I see these grow rooms where they get, thousands of likes, and they're fun, but are they doing anything to change your life? Are they doing anything to protect the most precious asset you have? Your health. You all know, maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't believe, you actually believe that calorie counting works. It doesn't. There's so many studies. This is what the major researchers, in summary, on all these studies, what they said about calorie counting. The calorie in, calorie out model is a public health disaster, adopted by nearly 100% of dieters, yet it drives an obesity apocalypse that threatens to engulf humanity. Calories in, calories out, near universal failure is undeniable. Studies in the Lancet 2021 and Obesity Reviews reveal that 50 to 70% of dieters on calories in, calories out regain more weight than they lose. Driven by metabolic adaptations, notably the surge in ghrelin, the hunger hormone, ghrelin, which signals hunger to the brain, spikes during calorie restriction and intensifies cravings and your appetite. Ghrelin tells you you're hungry. The diets are telling you you're not full. Ghrelin's telling you. That's why you have those unbelievable cravings when you're on these diets. The researchers prove that. It wasn't about the quantity of food she was consuming. It was about how much nutrition she got. So she wasn't hungry. I wasn't hungry. I did this 23 years ago. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks. I've kept it off for 23 years. Hello. We got it? Again, who would like to ask me a question? Caden Murphy, Rushkin, General, Daisy, Charlie. And can we get some taps on the screen? We're stuck at 165. We've been there now for about 25 or 30 minutes. Unless most of you don't either believe this or you think that I'm full of it. But I'm not. We've got the medical proof to back it up. As a matter of fact, let me show you the website. You simply would type in on Google the new health conversation. Oh, there's some, thank you. Oh, there we go. There's some hearts. All right, people are awake. Thank you. So you type in the new health conversation, click on the link. It takes you right to the website. Look, everybody, there's nothing to buy on that website. Number one is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He'll tell you they will never do any patient a traditional diet ever again. He said it would be unethical. They've got 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies proving that this is the solution to weight loss, obesity, and your health. It's a health system. Please understand that. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to take a magic powder or a pill. No, it doesn't work like that. And it took them 40 years to figure it out. But now they've got the proof. Also, if you do decide to do it, you would actually get, it's called the blueprint for success. You notice the yellows there. Those are daily. This is what they gave the patients in the studies. You're going to get the same thing, or it's available to you. With the yellows are the daily videos from the researchers telling you, this is why you're doing this. This is why it's safe. I know it sounds too good to be true. Can you really take a chance? Let me ask you this. If that's real, tell me any diet you would do instead of this. What would it be? Because on a diet, we all know maybe you're going to lose a pound a week. Hello, Holly. Yeah, Sherry McNeil. Now that's my Sherry. That's my TikTok site. That's not the website. The website is no. You see it there. Type in Google the New Health Conversation. So if you go to that at the New Health, that'll take you to my TikTok site, which is fine. But if you want to see the medical proof, Sherry, you need to. Does everybody see at the top the New Health Conversation? You type that in Google. No at. So who else would like to ask me a question? Thank you for doing that, Sherry, by the way. But for all of you, I want to make it as simple. Oh, wow, we're at 797 likes. So obviously someone does like the content. Please respond, everybody. I'm doing as many as my voice will allow me. I'm doing 4 or 5 of these live podcasts per day. I know that's against, everybody says, oh, you shouldn't be on TikTok more than 2 or 3 times a day. Who made that rule? Because all of you, there's different people coming on at any given time. So you mean the minute I stopped, someone, I mean, this is a world, we got people all over the world that are tuning into this now. The New Health Conversation is a movement. There's nothing to join, there's no subscription, nothing like that. Only thing you may want to do is if you go on it, then you're part of the New Health Conversation, because that's what we're talking about. But again, I'm just really, wow, we're almost at 1,000. Wow, you all really came awake. You're all in my, no medication, Chloe, at all. No meds, absolutely not, unless you're taking them and you need to continue. But did you get a chance to hear, Chloe, the explanation of what she did? It's important that you understand this is a nutritional system. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's not about exercise. Do you understand that, Chloe? Did you get a chance to hear it? Please let me know down there, because I'm going to do another. What did she do, Taylor? Okay, I'm going to explain it to everybody. So I want to introduce you to a complete new concept. Well, let me clarify this way. Does anyone know, like Tay or anybody, the actual definition of a calorie, the medical definition? I didn't know 24 years ago, and I know that 9 people in a year have gotten the definition correct. So we all were counting calories. For what reason? I don't know, because the human body has no idea what a calorie is. So the researchers had done, Taylor, 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people, and they came to the conclusion that diets counting calories didn't work. So they said, we're going to do something totally different and concentrate on, well, there are 3 things that keep you alive: air, water, and you need a minimum of what? Not calories, nutrition. So what they proved was that the key would be, can they give you less food by volume and give you more nutrition? So they needed to come up with a new system, a new combination of foods. So this is what they did, and this is what she did, and this is what you would do. You'd get a grocery list. You literally would take it to the grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of calorie counting, they give you serving sizes. That's very important, because it wasn't about how much food you were eating. It was about how much nutrition you were getting. And they calculated you only needed this amount of food to get that amount of nutrition, and you won't be hungry, because your hunger doesn't come from calorie counting. It comes from nutrition deficiency. Got it so far? So that was 30% of what she consumed. The other 70% came from other researchers gone around the world for 20 years to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, and brought back huge amounts of nutrients in very small amounts of food. So now they're putting the system together, right? They're combining regular food that you would buy, well, organic, from the grocery store, things you'd be familiar with. Because some of these foods from around the world, you're going to make them as a tea, or you're going to make them in water. There's no, you're not getting extra lettuce or kale or whatever. It doesn't work like that. So you had the two groups of food. Now here's the other key to make it a system. They created a new way of eating, consuming food based on what? These high levels of nutrition and low amounts of food. So they created something called protein pacing, which is a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, these nutrient-rich foods around the world. She did that 5 days a week. 2 days a week, she did something called, this will spin all of you out, intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting with water, not time-restricted eating, not fasting in any form. They were fasting with nutrition. How'd they pull that off? No food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time they let her eat 8 times a day. Yep, she was eating about every hour and a half. Nobody was hungry. They had people weigh 400 pounds, diabetics, no one had insulin spikes. And despite losing all that weight in a month, they measured she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. That's only the tip of the iceberg of the story of what they discovered. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically just in 30 days. And one of the biggest things that you all need to be aware of is we're all suffering from this new medical syndrome called TDOS. Every one of you, every person on the planet. The T stands for toxins. You don't have to believe me. Go and Google microplastics in your brain. Because a month ago they came out and said they're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries, along with herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and all these chemicals in our world. This is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. Peter Greenlaw, who's that? Oh, I guess that's me. I did discover it. So I know a little bit about this, right? I was one of the canaries in the coal mine screaming for years, wait a minute. We're ingesting all these chemicals in our body and nobody thinks it's having an impact? Now we know it is. So the researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle, along with liver enzymes and a lot of other things, but they proved that this was detoxing the body. Detoxing the body. And for the first time in history, inflammation came down 25% in a month. Now someone's asked me, who asked me? Oh, brown sugars. Okay. So again, let me explain to you what they ate. You'd get a grocery list from the researchers that we would give to you, because we had it. Proteins, like, steak, chicken, liver, fish, etc. Vegetables, fruits. So proteins, fats, vegetables, fruits, etc. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, this is really important. You have to understand, you have serving sizes. Now, don't hit the panic button thinking you're going to be hungry. I just explained to you, your hunger does not come from the amount of food you're eating. It doesn't come from calorie counting. It comes from lack of nutrition. It's that simple. So we're so overeating. Do you get it? We're overeating because we're starving to death nutritionally. No matter how much you eat, you're not full. That's the way we have 2 million people weigh over 500 pounds in this country. We're on the road to 86% of Americans being overweight and obese in 4.5 years, according to Johns Hopkins Medical School. This is going to save all of us if you do it. It's a nutritional system based on these high amounts of nutrition, but taken in a very specific way over a period of time. Because they tried it. For example, they took the same amount of nutrition and had them do lunch and dinner. It didn't work. It was the spreading out. That's why they got a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Does this make sense to everybody? Does everybody get this? Can I get a yes? Does this make complete sense? Do you understand why your calorie counting diets are doomed, finish, over? Oh my gosh, we got the 3,200 likes. Where did you people come from? I love it. Keep going. So brown sugar, do you understand? And you get brown sugar, do you see right above her head in blue, the new health conversation? It's a free medical website to go to, and if you like what you see that free coaching. Your coaches will go over all that with you. Now, why do you need coaching? We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old, people with no thyroids, a man with a heart transplant, kidney transplant, people with no gallbladders, and we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. All we're doing is sharing with you what's in the peer-reviewed human trial studies. More evidence. In June 9th, about a month ago, on the cover of Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, those 2 women, I coached them both. The daughter's a nurse. She's 57 years old, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's 80, was 77 at the time. She lost 90 pounds in about a year, and they both have kept it off now for 3 years. Look at the title, Over 50 Protein Miracle. That's not some hype by me. I didn't write that. That's the magazine saying that. And then they wrote a big article inside as a news story. I'll show it to you here in just a second, so you don't think I'm making things up. Look at this. Can you all read that? New Protein Miracle Diet. What are you all doing? You're counting calories. It's just, I mean, you don't have to believe me. Have you ever heard of Harvard Medical School? Oh, I've got it right here. Hold on just a second. Let me find it. Oh, Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. That's Harvard Medical School saying we've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. They went on to say the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says the team of Stanford obesity specialists, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what these researchers did, and they have no affiliation with Harvard. I mean, at some point, don't we have to at least question what's going on? Do any of you think when Johns Hopkins Medical School is saying in 4.5 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese, does that make you think like whatever diet you're on now, somehow that's going to work? We're here as the canaries in the coal mine. We're here to scream the message and say, stop counting calories. This new nutritional system I mean, you think this is dramatic on my part, right? The top researchers that I work with, I've had the great privilege, I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. One of my colleagues is the top oncologist in the world, is a molecular biologist who worked with 2 men who won the Nobel Prize in medicine. You know what they're telling me? The greatest threat to mankind since the dawn of time, and it's not COVID, it's obesity. And what are we doing about it? Well, based on results, often harsh but always fair, it's a complete disaster. Are you willing to support yourself in all you have to do is go to the website and look at the medical proof. We won't contact you if you go there. I don't understand, unless you think I'm just a complete liar, which you could, it's fine. Your opinion to me is none of my business. I'm a researcher. I've been doing this 23 years. And I've had the great privilege, I've worked with some of the top, one of my colleagues is the geneticist who discovered the gene that causes aging. The #1 geneticist in the world. That's not me, that's not my research, but those are the kind of people that have trained me to bring this message to all of you. They're saying, we have got to do something now. Not in a month, not, New Year's resolution. No, that's about 7 months away. Gosh, it's only 5 months away, actually. Wow, I can't believe New Year's is 5 months away. That's insane. It's going to be 4 months here, August 1st. But honestly, am I making any sense? Do I make you mad? Do I make you anxious? Do you want me to shut up? I'm not going to do that. Somebody has to take the charge. Somebody has to be willing to charge up that hill and say, look, take a stand today for your own health. Or not. It's not going to change my life, but it certainly could change your life. So again, a lot of new people coming on. Do you think that's real? Would anybody put in the chat? Would you like to know what she did? I'm happy to repeat it again. Yes, you get them. They're actually the exotic foods. The researchers who found them, because they're the ones that have it. It's not at your local grocery store. They're available in the United States, Canada, Mexico, I think Puerto Rico maybe, and all through the EU. Oh, and New Zealand and Australia. So they're not available like in South America. They're not available in, South America, I guess, would be one of the biggest areas. Africa, it's not available in Africa, for example. I don't have anything to do with that. You know, those are the researchers. But the idea is when you go to the website, and I thought insulin spikes every time you eat. How's it? Aha, see, Coco? Great observation. No insulin spikes because this was based on pure nutrition. They didn't have to worry about carbohydrates, for example. No, yes, if you see, that's my whole point. That's why this is a nutritional system, that they looked at the interactions between all these different ingredients. Only 30% came from the United States. And the other, look, to tell you how powerful this was, great, Coco, listen to this. As you know, in a diabetic, one of the things they measure is the need for insulin, right? You've heard of insulin resistance, for example. You've heard of pre-diabetic, which that basic is insulin resistance. In the studies, right in the studies, Coco, insulin dependency. And these diabetics on this were measured by their doctors. It came down 41% in 30 days. Most of the diabetics had to cut their meds in half, what their doctors did. Now, let me show you a diabetic, for example. Look at this, an old 40 pounds, but look at his A1C. It went from 8.4 to 6.4, and his triglycerides from 242 to 124 in 30 days. Coco, have you ever seen anything like that? No white rice. Well, only until you get, no, white rice is one of the worst. It's low, it's simple carbohydrates. But not forever you couldn't eat it, but just while you're doing this. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a nutritional system. It's a combination of all these nutrients. And some of the nutrients in this are not available in the United States. They just aren't. They come from places like Mongolia and Tibet and the Himalayas and Russia. They come from blue zones, if you're familiar with that, everybody, where people are living to be 100 years old. That's what I take every day. And if you go on this, unless you're on a doctor's prescription for a supplement, you don't need any more supplements. Because maintenance is the biggest part of this, everybody. Maintenance, you know how simple it is? You have these exotic foods for breakfast every morning, 2 normal meals, and then every couple months do another of the detox. First and foremost, everybody, this is a detox. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's not a single point of reference, calories in, calories out. Hogwash. Yeah, I'm really fired up now. I'm excited. My God, we're at 5,000 likes. You people are making me very happy. But look at his stomach, everybody. He's 65 years old. He lost 40 pounds in a month. Unless you think we're lying, how could you possibly think any diet you're on now, abandon it? Abandon it. This is the answer. When we've got, my God, when we've got people like Medicare saying, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments, diets are not the answer. Our research has studied long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets and assessed that no matter what diet it was, 2/3 of people gained back more weight than they lost. That's Medicare telling you your diet you're on now doesn't work. Yeah, I'm really fired up. You're really inspiring me now, everybody, with the likes, because obviously I've spent 23 years of my life being a researcher. And for 22 of those years in the medical world, all that research, 4 best-selling books, 20 shows on public broadcasting, 1,500 live lectures in universities and hospitals. You know what it meant in the medical world? 0. Until now. They're not my studies. But I've got medical doctors and PAs and RNs and dietitians and nutritionists. They're flocking to this because their clients have gone on it and they're seeing results no one's ever seen insulin come down 41% in a month. Oh, the other big one, inflammation, which we all suffer from. It came down 25% in a month. Most women lost a whole dress size in a week with no exercise. Guys lost 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week with no exercise. That's the other thing to understand. No one was allowed to exercise. Why? Because the research didn't want exercise to be part of it. So the thing you hear on diets is, my God, don't lose more than a pound a week on a diet because it's unhealthy because you're losing lean muscle mass. That's the point. Yes, that's why these researchers abandon calorie counting and why they're able to do things like give a diabetic that can eat 8 times a day on this and have no insulin spikes. But their life is so much better. They're not hungry. If you are a diabetic like Coco yourself or someone you know, it's really hard to lose weight as a diabetic, and yet the doctors tell you, if you can lose weight, you probably need less medication. It's like this conundrum. It's like this wheel that you're running on faster and faster and faster. The faster you run, you're still in the same place. I just went to the gym this morning, and I do have a trainer. They're not against exercise. I exercise, 2 or 3 times a week. But don't think that exercise is a way to lose weight, because it's not. It's never been proven as a long-term strategy. Because the problem is with it, when you're doing diet and exercise, now you're asking your body to put up more energy with less fuel. Well, your brain, it's going to convert your muscles into fuel. Sorry. Now, 2 normal meals, what can you eat? Coco, the 2 normal meals, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, and even salad dressings. So normal, what you would consider normal food, only it's, listen, Coco, the key is not calorie amounts. Serving sizes. Because keep in mind, Coco, we're all used to the amount of food we eat to fill us up. But the problem is it's temporary. I'll give you an example. How many people at Thanksgiving, you're stuffed, you can't eat anymore, and a half hour later you're back for more gravy and potatoes, whatever. Because the food has almost no nutrition. Why do you think, right now, 500, they estimate that over 2 million people in this country weigh over 500 pounds. That's the Learning Channel. You can look. No, it's 1 million. Sorry, I misstated. But still, 1 million people in this country weigh over 500 pounds. This wasn't happening 50, 60, 70 years ago. Hell, in 1964, only 15% of the population was overweight or obese. Again, I'd love any of you to tell me. I'm open to discussion, whatever. But try and tell me why you think what you're doing is going to work when the world experts are saying it doesn't work. And I'll give you, for example, I know we got some medical people in here. Here's why counting calories can't possibly work, other than the fact your body doesn't even know what a calorie is. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while calories in, calories out can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight is regained. So even these researchers are wrong. The calorie has nothing to do with it. It's the amount of nutrition that's causing the reduction in energy. You don't get energy from calories. You get energy either from the what they'll call the triglycerides inside your fat cell. That's it. Or you're going to get it from your muscles, which is really bad. Wow, we're at 7,400 likes. I'm loving this, everybody. Yes. Let me review again for you, Taya 005. Not only that, what you actually get this called the blueprint for success, Taya and everybody else. This is what the researchers use in the medical trials. Not only are these yellows daily videos from the researchers, not from us, included in here, you probably can't read it. It says recommended daily food list. There's your regular food you buy from the grocery store. It has the proteins, the fats, the carbs, the fruits, the vegetables, and even the salad dressings, and the serving sizes. Disregard the calories. And it also has the daily schedules. And if you look at these little squares, those are daily videos. Each day, as you do your first at least 30 days, there's an instructional video from the researchers. And they don't sell anything. Why would they do this? Because they want people to be able to experience this the same way that people in the studies did. Although you're not going in weekly to have blood, stool, urine, and fat. You could if you wanted, I suppose. This is going to change the world. So the quality control of how, you got to understand, that's why it's a nutritional system. Does everyone understand the difference? This is not calorie counting. This is not how many carbs. No. It doesn't work like that. It's a system of combination these rare, I mean, the things that are coming from Russia, Mongolia, China, not China, but South America, New Zealand, they're not, those nutrients aren't, even if they're in some of our food, the levels of nutrients are crashing. Cornell University did a study on the iron levels in spinach from 1953 to 2020. They estimate the iron levels in spinach have decreased in that time period by 4,300%. What does that mean? It means a bowl of spinach, about one bowl of spinach in 1953 today, you need about 20 to 30 bowls of spinach. That's what's going on. That's why you're so darn hungry. You're always hungry, always. Why do you think you're snacking? I live in an office building. I mean, my studio's in an office building, right where we are now. There's a vending machine down the hall. I can almost set my watch, so it's 11. Oh, they've already gone to the vending machines. They had breakfast, and by 10, 11, they're starving there at the vending machine. Then they're going to have lunch, and this afternoon they're going back to the vending machines. Our grandparents didn't have vending machines, snacking, because food had nutrition 100 years ago, or however your grandparents were. Am I making sense? I hope I am, because our whole goal is to make you aware of something that could change your life. But you don't need to do anything. If you go to the website right there, the New Health Conversation, it's free to go there. Let me show you what's on the website. Go to Google, type in the new, it's got to be the new, by the way, the New Health Conversation. It'll take you, you'll see it in a moment. You go to Google, click on the link. It'll take you to the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. Nothing. And number one is this exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutritional researcher in the world who invented this. He's explaining to you why they said they'll never recommend any form of nutrition of traditional diet to any of their patients ever again. And they're the top people in the world. They've looked at almost every kind of diet out there. And that was the conclusion, that the whole approach to dieting is finished over. It never has worked. And 2/3 of everybody they ever studied gained back more weight than they lost, just like Medicare and all these other studies are showing. And yet you're still all counting calories. How about my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months? Where's the loose skin? Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her midsection. That's it, everybody. Please tap, 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 tap. Wow. We're at 9,000. You're crazy. This is so wonderful. You don't understand how much this inspires me. As a researcher, because I don't have anything to sell you. The researchers don't have anything to sell you. But we want to help humanity. We want to help the world. Now, don't think that's some silly thing I'm saying. You got to understand, we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. The people you're following that are telling you to do keto or paleo or Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, they don't have one peer-reviewed study. They don't have a shred of evidence. And some of them are trying to charge you for recipes. Are you falling for that one? Really? Really? It's not about a recipe. Again, that's a single point of reference. It's what's in that food that matters, not the combination of, whatever. Am I making sense to everybody? Does this, if you lose that much weight, won't you? No. Do you see any loose skin on her, Coco? Where's her loose skin? Oh, let me show you someone. Talk about losing weight. This is what makes me so happy. She lost 200 pounds in about a year. Where's the loose skin? She had no surgery. Coco, is that unbelievable? She's a happy person being overweight, but she's a lot happier now. Because the problem with the weight is the prices you're paying. Don't think I'm fat shaming anybody, because my own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I lived with it. I saw the fat shaming. She'd come home, we'd go to the grocery store, she'd come home and start crying. Why can't I lose weight? Why can't I lose weight? Why can't I lose weight? She went to Weight Watchers for years. I'd see her lose 4 ounces in a week and come back with a blue star, whatever they gave, and she'd think it was great. That's how low the damn bar is. But now we don't have time to screw around. We're in a desperate situation in the world. My God, in the world, we now have 2.5 billion people overweight and 1 billion clinically obese. Yeah, I'm very dramatic. I get it. It's not about me. You don't have to like me. But the science is talking to you. It's saying, stop counting calories. We need this nutritional system. It took them 40 years to figure it out. Do you really believe if we're going to be at 86% overweight and obese in 4.5 years, are you going to argue for what diet would you tell me you'd be on that you think works? And you get free coaching. But look at hers. This is what makes it wonderful. That was my mom. I mean, it's not my mom, but that's what I'm saying. She'd lose 20, gain 25 back, lose 30, 35 back. She called me up 24 years ago and said, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I'd give anything to spend 1 day thin. Coco, you listening? Not that it refers to you, but I want you to hear the story about why I'm so sensitive and why I'm so passionate against diets. After that phone call, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom did about every damn diet there was, the grapefruit diet, the cabbage soup diet. She went to Weight Watchers. She did all that. Never, ever, ever worked. If she could have seen this, oh my gosh, I can't prove it, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that I can, right? She looks younger. I know. It's amazing. Well, she lost the weight. But look at this one, too. Look at that. 35 pounds in 37 days, Coco. Look at her body. Look at how much it shrank. Where's the loose skin, Coco? Despite losing 35 pounds. Now, she's a pretty tall woman, so, it's not, if she was shorter, it would be more dramatic. But still, 35 pounds, Coco. How about losing 35 pounds in 37 days? That's a little over 7 weeks, right? 35 times, no, 5 weeks, sorry, not 7, 5 weeks. So 5 weeks, she's losing 7 pounds a week. That's what I was trying to get at. But again, for the rest of you, does anybody want to ask me a question? Thanks for being active, Coco, and thanks, Tay. But do you both understand you can go to that website for free and we're not going to contact you? Do you understand? Give me a yes if you both understand. We shouldn't have to. If the medical proof is what I'm saying it is, you're going to be pretty hard-pressed not to want to get a coach and find out for your particular. We don't know anything about you, Coco. I don't know if you want to gain weight, lose weight. You're a diabetic. We got people with high blood pressure. We got people with no thyroids. A man with a heart transplant. People with a kidney transplant. People with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. Don't hear that. But you have to all appreciate, I hope, you got 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies backing all this up. Oh my gosh, with 11,000 likes, we're almost at the record. I think my record is 15 or 16,000. But keep going. Don't give up on me. If iron levels have decreased in spinach, why can't we maintain our ferritin levels? That's why a lot of people, to be quite honest, are taking. That's why I said, if you're on a prescription, a lot of people are on iron supplements. There's no doubt about it. It's not my, I'm telling you, it's not my research. I'm just telling you that that's what they're saying. That, I mean, Why do you think people are taking supplements? Why do you think they're taking iron supplements? A lot of them are taking, obviously, calcium is another big one that they need, right? Because of osteoporosis and osteopenia. You have to appreciate the fact these are the top. They're not just weight loss experts. They're not just nutritionists. They're human physiologists who study what the nutrients do when they come in the body. It's so rare, almost it's such a rare breed where someone is a weight loss nutrition and human physiologist. They studied, that's what they did. That's why they did blood, stool, urine, fat, muscle, liver enzymes, a whole battery of things that people on diets would never consider. That's why they're so excited. That's why it really is a health system. It's a nutritional system that creates health. Maybe that's a better way. The outcomes of the nutritional system is the change in health. I mean, if you look at Andy, a younger guy. Now, he lost 45 pounds, but look at his A1C went from 7.9 to 6.2. But look at his cholesterol. Went from 120 to 59 in 30 days. Hello? That's crazy. Crazy good. Plus, he looks a lot happier on day 30 than he did on day 1. I don't know why that was like that. I didn't have anything to do with that picture, by the way. I mean, and when you look at someone like even Kristen, look at her stomach, everybody, on day 1, and then look at her stomach on day 30. That's with no exercise at all. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Now, why did the researchers want to do that? Otherwise, you would have been saying, well, she lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, they wanted to prove this nutritional system was going to change the world. It is going to change the world. It can change your world. We can only save people one at a time. This is kind of like we're on the Titanic, and if you don't think we hit an iceberg, we did. So you got a choice. There's a lifeboat over there with a blanket and a life preserver. I mean, do you know how many people stayed on deck on the Titanic because they thought it wasn't going to sink? They watched the movie. Or the documentaries even show they only launched the lifeboats from one side of the ship, and no one ever considered the fact they could have backed the ship up and put ladders and put people on the iceberg. Well, because they didn't think it was going to sink. You think your diet's going to work, all of you. I'm talking in generalizations, of course. But 86% of you are going to weigh more than when you started, and you're going to be mad at me for telling you that. It's okay, but it's the medical studies prove it. And then when we've got world-class people, the researchers, this is kind of a summary of what they said about counting calories. The calorie in, calorie out model is a public health disaster, adopted by nearly 100% of dieters, yet it drives an obesity apocalypse that threatens to engulf humanity. Calories in, calories out near universal failure is undeniable. Studies in the Lancet 2021 and Obesity Reviews in 2018 reveal that 50 to 70% of dieters on calories in, calories out diet regain more weight than they lost, driven by metabolic adaptations. This is really important you understand this part. Notably, the surge in ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Ghrelin, which signals hunger to the brain, spikes during calorie restriction, intensifying your cravings and appetite. That's why you're so starving on a diet. So ghrelin tells you you're hungry. Well, you're hungry because you don't have enough nutrition. And now you've gone on a diet and reduced the amount of food you're consuming, ignoring nutrition. Ghrelin's going to go through the moon. There's a reason why this doesn't work, everybody. There's a medical reason why these diets are failures. I don't care what these fitness trainers tell you and these people that want to argue with me. They open your eyes. If you go to the beach, go to the lake today, go to the mall, look at America, for crying out loud. This is a crisis. We're already short on insulin. Do you realize that? What do you think is going to happen if we go, right now they're estimating, today, right now, 80% of Americans overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. What's going to happen when those pre-diabetics become diabetic? They're going to need medication. You understand? That's why the threat to humanity, it's every disease statistic is going through the moon. And we know, according to Harvard, obesity leads to 40 known diseases. So it's not about fat shaming. You have to understand we're making ourselves unhealthy by going on diets, by counting calories, which slows down our metabolism and our immune system. Yes, by losing lean muscle mass, you slow down your own immune system. So, Carolyn said he's not wrong, guys. Well, thank you very much, Carolyn. I don't know who Carolyn is, but I'll always take support. So, Carolyn, is this making sense to you? Wow, we're at 12,000. You guys, men and women, let's break the record. Let's tap on that screen. I'm going to keep going. I'm so motivated. It's so exciting when you think that all this hard work. I wrote 4 best-selling books, right? I've done 1,500 lectures. I did 20 shows on PBS. But to have a live audience, there's no substitute. Well, in person is better. I mean, but because of COVID, I had done 1,500 live lectures around the world before COVID. And that all stopped January 20th of 2020. Thank gosh for TikTok. My son turned me on to this. Best decision I ever made in my life. Best decision. So, yeah, Caroline, it sounds like your life is amazing. Good. But who else would like to ask me a question? Caroline, I still would invite you to go to that website. It'll blow your mind because as good as you think you are now, you have no idea how good you actually could be. But you'll find it fascinating to go and see the actual medical proof, and including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. That's not me, by the way. Right? So who else would like to ask me a question? Anybody? Golden Heart 17. Hello. That's like a car in your little, whatever that thing is. Is that emoji? I don't think it's emoji. See, I'm not, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm a novice. But you ask me about diets, nutrition, health, then I'm your person. You bet. Taya, where are you located? Are you in Europe or something? I mean, I'm just curious. Yes, I'm thankful you've come to TikTok to share this information globally. That makes me feel so great, everybody. I've worked really, really hard for a long time. I'm not telling you to impress you. I now get up because I found that the biggest audiences are really, I live in Denver, Colorado. So right now in Denver, it's 11:31. It's 1:30 on the East Coast. And that would make it around, I think it's 7 hours. So it's got to be like 6 o'clock at night, let's say in the UK. My passion, my drive, in memory from my mom, who obviously I couldn't help because this wasn't even invented back then, is to help all of you. If I can make, in Canada, yeah, well, there's no problem in Canada, Taya. And I'm probably mispronouncing your name. Am I pronouncing it right? Would that be Taya? Taya? I don't know. I'm not good at phonetics sometimes, so I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Look, we're at 13,000 likes, everybody. Come on, keep tapping, everybody. Tai. Oh, I was close. I wasn't that far off, right? Tai. Wow, cool. Thank you for that. Oh, Coco. Next month, Coco, how much would you like to lose total? This is so much fun to do this because this is real people and real questions, and they really want to. I got a family reunion coming right next month. Would this work for me? So, and also, is it like a month from now? How many weeks do you have, and how much would you like to lose? Or how much do you need to lose total? Let's focus on that first. 26 pounds. Okay. And how much time do we have between now and the family reunion? See, isn't this great? It's live. This is like so cool. It's unbelievable. And I have about 1,400 10-minute videos on TikTok, but they're not interactive. I can't interact with people like Coco now, August 24th. Okay, so you've got about 6 weeks. Oh, Coco, you'll be down at least 20 pounds, at least 20 pounds in that time frame. Because I'd rather under promise and over perform, right? You write that. Look, she lost 21 pounds in 30 days, and she had a little more weight than she wanted to lose 30 pounds. So, but let me ask you this: if you walk in there, just imagine walk into that family reunion in your favorite outfit, and you're down 20 pounds. Tell me how you're going to feel. Tell me how you're going to feel. I want to know. Because this is, believe it or not, everybody on this, you know what most people say? Even though they're losing these unbelievable amounts of weight, et cetera. I can't believe the way I feel. I'm dying to know, Coco. So tell me, how are you going to feel? Let's say there's a dinner party that night or whatever, you're wearing your favorite outfit and you walk in and you're down 20 pounds. What do you think? How are you going to feel? Tell me. Good, yes. I would hope great. I know it. Listen, Coco, the other thing I didn't even tell Tai or anybody else, and I should have. So 30% of the food you're going to buy as part of this nutritional system, right? You're going to buy from your grocery store. So take your food budget last month and say 30% of those dollars you're going to buy from your grocery store. The other 70% you have left goes towards these nutrients. Some people tell me they spend about the same they did last month on total groceries. Or some people say maybe it's another $25 a week. But here's the thing you all have to understand. Tai and Coco, listen to me. Those foods that you're buying from those researchers, they give you 100% money back guarantee in the first month. So Coco, you could do this for a whole month. Let's say it didn't work. They'll give you all your money back. 100% money back guarantee. I don't have anything to do with that. I don't sell you anything. They do. And if you go and get a coach, it says 100% money back guarantee. But I want to clarify, 30% of the food that you're buying from your grocery store, they're not going to give you a discount, but or your money back. But 100, no questions asked. Now, now, Coco, how much does it excite you? You have no risk. Your risk is you don't do it in Coco, the chance of you being down 20 pounds in 5 weeks, probably near zero. Not on this. Good, Tai. I'm glad. And Coco, isn't that cool? 100% money back guarantee on 70% of what you're going to spend. Do you think any of you, including Tai and Coco, do you think they could do this if this didn't work? Really? You see what I'm saying? Isn't that cool? Just really cool. Oh, we're at 14,000. Oh, we're approaching the record. We're approaching the record. If we can get some more taps, I think might have been 15,000. I don't remember. But I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited for all of you because obviously you're enjoying the knowledge. You're enjoying the information. Now, what you do with it, that's up to you. Because if you go to our website there, the New Health Conversation, we're not going to contact you. No, don't think you're going there and we're going to call you. That's not what we do. But if you sign up for a free coach, they've all done the protocol. They've all been taught how to coach you. And the coaching is free. And then maintenance. And I guess do we have to eat 8 times a day or can we choose to eat less or more? Tai, you have to follow it exactly as in the medical, it'd be medical malpractice, not that we're doctors, if we let you do it. And now remember, that's only 2 days a week. It's critical. You're doing intermittent nutritional fasting. You're having very small amounts of food. You need the 8 times to give you enough nutrition that you don't trigger the starvation mode in your brain. Does that make sense? See, Tai, 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. But the 2 days, it's non-negotiable. And they proved it. I mean, they did the studies. We're going to have you do exactly what they did in the medical trials. Now, the other thing for Tai and Coco, maintenance, guess how simple it is. These nutrient-dense foods for breakfast, 2 normal meals, and then another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, maybe every couple of months. Once you've lost your weight and gotten to your goal. Because Tai, I don't think you shared that with me about how much weight you'd like to lose. If you don't mind, share it with me and I'll tell you an honest evaluation of how quickly you can do it. Because for Tai and Coco and everybody else, the key to this is maintenance. One of the keys. It's keeping it off. So Tai, does that make sense? Remember, the 8 times a day is only in those intermittent nutritional fasting days. That's really critical. And also it helps to avoid insulin spikes in diabetics, for example. Okay? Cool. So you're saying, yes, it makes sense, I'm assuming, correct? I think that's what you're saying. I got things lighting up all over the place, but where are we now? We're at 50. Oh, we have 15,000. Oh, man. Well, let's break the record, everybody. Tap on that screen. Come on, let's break that record. Heather Sweat just joined us. Hello, Heather. So, Tai, isn't this exciting? But, Tai, if you don't mind, how much would you like to lose? Oh, well, this is great for that, Tai. The 10 pounds, Tai, I'm serious, maybe 2 weeks, maybe, or less than 2 weeks even. But again, the reason to be, Heather, the reason to be doing it is for the detox property. So you're not going to detox yourself in 10 days or 20 days, but go over all that with your coach and they'll go, because this is really personalized. But isn't that exciting, Tai, the fact that you have a real chance to do that? I mean, Tai, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Heather, did you hear that? Heather Sweet, 20 to 25 pounds. So Heather, she needs to lose total 30 pounds. Heather, that is not photoshopped. Look at that. 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. Give me an adjective for how excited you'd be if you could lose 5 pounds a week with no exercise. Because they weren't allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. You can exercise, but you need a coach to guide you. And the coaching's free. Heather, coach, it's 100% free. So Heather, does that make sense to you? Yeah, I mean, 20 to 25 pounds, max, 6 weeks, max. That'd be the max. And you definitely can exercise if you want to, right? Heather, so you'd be very excited. Yeah. So Heather, let me explain to you what they did because I realized you came on late, all right? And keep tapping everybody because I want to get to 16,000 or above likes. So Heather, what they did, the researchers who created this, they created, the best way to describe it to is the world's first nutritional system. It was based on 3 different principles. Well, one principle in general, and that was that calorie counting is dead. It doesn't work. It's never worked. It's completely useless. And 2/3 of people calorie counting are gaining back more weight than they lost. So the researchers who created this had done 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet out there, and they proved it. So they said, we're going to do something different. We're going to create something that is based on one guiding principle, and that's nutrition. And the problem with any diet you've ever been on, Heather, when you lower the quantity of food, because that's what you're doing, you're lowering nutrition. When that happens, the brain signals starvation and begins to use your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's probably what you've experienced in the past, and that 20 or 25 pounds probably came back. The whole key to this is we're going to teach you how to keep it off forever. So what the researchers did, they put together food groups that made part of this nutritional system, but only 30% came from North America. You'd actually go to your grocery store, you'd get a physical list, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, Heather, you'd get serving sizes. Does that make sense? Well, no different when you're cooking, right? You have a recipe. The recipe is important. Well, the recipe here is what you're going to consume. I'm sorry, when you're going to consume, how you're going to consume, etc. So 30% of your food would come from the grocery store. Those are the ingredients. That's what I was stumbling over, the ingredients. The other 70% doesn't come from the United States. It comes from other researchers who have gone around the world, these researchers had, and they went to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Because the key here was still, they wanted to give people less food by bulk, by volume, but give them more nutrition. That was the theory. It was the theory. So here's what she did. 5 days a week, they let her have 4 meals a day. She started with these nutrient-dense foods around the world that the researchers have actually called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. And that's the only thing your body cares about. That's breakfast, lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these world's most perfect meals. That's called protein pacing. They ended up getting an absolute registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. The U.S. Patent Office realized it was revolutionary. You think we know how to eat, but these people proved that we don't, okay? Then 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, and Taia was explaining that. On those days, no food from the, well, by the way, it's not fasting, it's not water fasting, and it's not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery, just these exotic foods, but this time, you would be eating 8 times a day, literally every hour and a half. We had someone who was questioning about diabetics. If they eat more than 4 times a day, they get an insulin spike. They didn't get an insulin spike here because they had such small amounts of food and huge amounts of nutrition that the body really accepted it without causing insulin spikes. And people that weighed 400 pounds, Heather, none of them were hungry. Why? Because we've never been hungry for a calorie. Our body doesn't know what a calorie even is. Our body cares about what? Nutrition. So if you can give your body enough nutrition, Heather, you're never going to be hungry. Am I making sense so far? Ah, Heather, we have a young woman right now. I don't know if you're young, but listen to this. But what about exercise and prevent osteoporosis? Tai, you definitely can exercise every day on this. It's only during the studies, and Heather, the same thing. The reason that they didn't allow exercise was they didn't want that to be a factor. Otherwise, you would have said, Tai, oh, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. Absolutely do exercise, and your coaches will go over all that with you, Tai. The coaching's free. That's why it's important to do a personal consultation with our coaches, Tai. Does that make sense to you? Okay, now let me come back to you, Heather. I'm 49. Okay, so this young mother who has 6 children, she's 36 years old, she had her kids pretty young, cannot absorb, or she was unable to absorb nutrition despite eating 5 times a day, and she lifts weights and goes to the gym. She couldn't gain an ounce. Listen to this. In 4 weeks, she's now gained 5 pounds. and it's all lean muscle. She's crying because she was malnourished. You get it? She's malnourished. I mean, come on, she's 36 years old. She's malnourished. How does that happen? Because of toxins, because of the chemicals that in many people are affecting the ability of the body to absorb nutrition. So if your metabolism at zero, cocoa, blood pressure, let me see. Okay, listen to this. Blood pressure came down 7% in the first month. 7% in a month, Coco. But back to you for a moment, Heather. So what else they measured, as a matter of fact, let me read these things for Coco, Tai, and also for you, Heather. So fat came down 11%, muscle mass increased 6 to 9%, blood sugar came down 6.2%, insulin came down 41%, cholesterol 15%, LDL down 13%, triglycerides came down 24%, and hunger came down 41% in 30 days. No one's ever said, listen, how excited would you be, Heather? Most women with, if you exercise, could be better, but with no exercise, they're losing a whole dress size in 7 days, Heather. 7 days. How much would that excite you? Men are losing 2 to 4 inches off their waist like I did. I lost 8 inches of my waist in 18 days, and I went from a 42 to a 34-inch waist. I've kept it off for 23 years. Keep in mind, Heather, this is not a short-term thing. It's a lifestyle, and that's why they call it a nutritional system. But it's the combination of foods, let's say from North America, but smaller amounts because our food in North America is so depleted in nutrition. But these other foods or these nutrients from around the world made up for that. And they were able to create the system utilizing these combinations, but in a very different way. They tried doing this, like protein pacing with organic food. It never worked because the quantities were so small that there wasn't enough nutrition in food from North America. But they could do it. That's why, for example, I said on 2 days a week, she's eating 8 times a day, only these foods from around the world because they have huge amounts of nutrition. It doesn't matter how much by bulk. Does that make sense, Heather? Tai, that answers as well. I would love to start my metabolism back working. Well, Heather, this could be the step to do it. Now, Heather, if you go to the website, do you see it right above her head there in blue, Heather, the New Health Conversation? What you would do, let me just show you, Heather. Go to Google or whatever search engine, just type in the New Health Conversation. Now, here's why it's important. Because it's going to take you to the website with all the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. You'll see it here in a moment. That's the website. There's nothing to buy. And there's #1 is the podcast with him. Everything there is medical proof. There's nothing to buy. Now, the reason I'm telling you this, if you go there, we will not contact you. But if you like what you see, then you can get a coach. And if you do decide to do a coach, make sure you put in the chat that you want to increase your metabolism, that you're having trouble, whatever it is, because that helps us as which coach will direct to help you monitor this. The coaching is 100% free, Heather. No gimmicks, no tricks. The consultation is 100% free. We don't charge. We got coach for free. And what's happening, Heather? A lot of people are going on this, and all of a sudden their cousin, their brother saying, what the heck did you do? And a lot of people have volunteered to become coaches to help their friends. I mean, that's really what's going on. We teach them how to coach. And also, Heather and Tai and Coco, you would get this. This is what they use in the medical trials, just to let you know, Heather. These are daily videos explaining to you exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, but most importantly, why you're doing it and why it's safe. The food list is here. There's also daily videos. Hopefully you can see those little squares. Those are actually the actual days that when you're doing the protocol with the #1 researcher in the world explaining to you, this is not a diet. This is why we'll never recommend a diet again. So you're literally getting coached by the top nutrition physiologist, nutritionists in the world, but you also have a live coach, and they're going to call you, text you, email you. You work that with them. The coaching is 100% free, Heather, 100%. And I should also tell you that those foods, the exotic foods you're buying from around the world, they give you the first month 100% money back guarantee if it doesn't work. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it really is true. Now, nothing's 100%, of course, but do you think that they could afford to do that if this didn't work? Because it was the researchers believe it was their nutrients that made this work, that created this system, right? Because it was a combination of, let's call it food that you're chewing, and many of these nutrients that came from around the world are consumed in those countries, either in a soup or in a tea or just mixed with water. There's very little chewing involved, let's just say that. And then how they consumed it, including the serving sizes, not calories, mattered. And then maintenance is simple. You have one of these. Breakfast this morning for me was these exotic foods from around the world. That was breakfast. And I'm going to have lunch here in a little while, and then dinner tonight. And then every couple months, I'll do a 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. So, Heather, does that make sense? Thank you. I'll check it out. Well, it's for your benefit. But understand, Heather, if you go there, we won't contact you. You need to scroll down and get a coach if that's what you want to do once you see the medical proof. Sounds good? Okay. Oh my God, we're at 18,000. We broke the record. I wasn't even looking. That is crazy. Wow. 18,000 likes. That's insane. Great. Awesome. Terrific. Wow. Wow. I just am thrilled. That is just amazing. Wow, wow, wow. So who else would last? Well, don't stop tapping just because we got to 18,000. If you feel like tapping, keep going. Maybe we can get to 20,000. I don't know. We've been an hour and 35 minutes. I'll probably go, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, I'll probably go maybe another 15 or 20 minutes. But if someone has a question, I'll stay as long as you want for me to answer it. It's just sometimes my voice, I need to give it a rest. This is my second live that I've already done today. I did one at 6 a.m. my time this morning. I'm in Denver, Colorado, where it's now 11:50, which means it's about 1:50 on the East Coast, and that would mean in London it's about 7, it's almost 8 o'clock at night, I believe, in London, if I'm correct. Because we got people all over the world on this podcast right now, in Germany and France and Sweden and, well, the whole EU, for example. But they're also, we got people in Russia, I had people in Manchuria. I mean, it's just crazy where TikTok is going. It's wonderful. But cocoa, yes, it should really, really help with your high blood pressure. And it's important that if you do go and get a coach, put in the chat that you have high blood pressure. That's important that we know that about you. Okay? So, Tai, I hope you're satisfied. And certainly, Coco, I hope you're satisfied. We're at 19,000, everybody. What in the world? That is fabulous. Let's get to 20,000. That's a new milestone. That is crazy good. Come on, everybody. Let's all get together and tap on that screen. Come on. I know we can get to 20,000. Plus, it'll keep me longer. Who else would like to step up and ask me a question? Hello, Golden Heart. Hello, Latia T. A lot of nice people today. I haven't had any. Sometimes I get people that like want to argue with me and fight with me, et cetera, because we're shaking the trees. I mean, I hope you can all see this is education. Have I tried to sell you anything? Have I tried to convince you of anything? Or have I educated you? What our job is to make you aware of what's available. That's it. Because we don't have anything to sell, and we coach you for free. Pretty good, huh? Come on, everybody. Let's get some taps to get to 20,000. Yes, we're learning. Good, Tai. Wonderful. Fabulous. That's the whole point of the whole thing. And I hope you'll tell your friends about this podcast. Tai, do you think that I'm not overstating it? We're in trouble as a world, in Canada, in Mexico, in the United States, in Britain. It doesn't matter. When we're talking about 1 billion people out of 8 billion clinically obese, we have a major crisis on our hands. Do you agree with that, Tai? Or Coco, or Heather, or any of you? I'm going to share it with my family. Great. Wonderful. That's what people do. That's how it happens. That's how people become coaches. They just decide, I want to help my friend. I want to help my sister. I want to help my dad. I want to help my brother. Because once they know it works, it's almost like they want to share it with people. That's what's so cool about it. We have a health and nutrition problem. Yes, exactly, Tai. We definitely do. Well, you tell me, 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese, I'd say that's a pretty big problem. And 2.5 billion. So 1 billion of the 2.5 billion are clinically obese, but the other 1.5 billion are overweight. This is insane. This is crazy. Come on, let's keep tapping now. We're stuck at 19,000. I'm thrilled, everybody. I really am thrilled. I had one this morning. I think I had 300 likes, 165. I went, what's wrong? Aren't people awake? Does my presentation suck? It's the same material. Wow, love my girls joined. Let's keep tapping, everybody. We're at 19,000. I know we can get well above 19,000. So, Coco, are you excited about your future now, about what you can possibly do? Not just because of the reunion on August 24th, but whatever. You'll really like the coaches. They're all dedicated. They've all done it. They're all, they're there to help you and inspire you. They basically become friends. They're like a new friend that you have. Because their goal is to get you to your goal as quickly and safely as possible. That's it. That's what they want to do. So, okay, we're getting lots of taps now. Come on, everybody. Who's ever tapping, keep tapping for me. Let's get to 20,000. I mean, I want you to feel like this is your home. I want you to feel like you want to be part of the new health conversation, starting with you. There's nothing to join. It's a group of people that want to help other people based on their own results, based on what's happened to them. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Don't we need more commonality? Don't we need more like, look, if we have something that's this powerful, it's almost like an obligation to share it with other people. Why wouldn't you do that? Once you know it works, not before, of course. So, Tai, I wouldn't even, I would say that you're in the great, no. Yeah, now, let me clarify something. We have a carnivore version that we do, Coco, but it's modified because the problem with the carnivore, you're lacking all these other nutrients that you need. Carnivore is not the world's most perfect meal from a nutritional standpoint. So we have lots of people doing carnivore, but again, we have a carnivore version and we have a traditional version. So if you like carnivore, again, that's why you want to get a coach. So the carnivore as it sits couldn't touch this, couldn't come close to this with results. No. But carnivore in conjunction with remember what we talked about, a nutritional system. So obviously protein, meat is part of it, but you need other things. You just do. Meat, for example, doesn't have what are called trace ionic minerals, Coco. Let me explain to you what that is. So you've heard of iron, calcium, magnesium, right? Well, there are 70 trace ionic minerals that we need. And those are things like gold and silver and zinc and beryllium and boron and selenium. Well, steak, there's no minerals in it at all. So what are you doing about the 70 minerals that are called the spark plugs of life? Those minerals are responsible for all the enzyme reactions in your body. So even the best organic food you can find in North America, you get 20 of these trace ionic minerals. The researchers found a source 70, all 70. Remember, what was behind this whole thing was what? Can we give you less food but give you more nutrition? It's exactly what they did, everybody. Isn't that cool? So no, the carnivore diet is not bad, although we do a different version that takes it to a whole different level. Coco, does that make sense? We're at 20,000. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh my gosh, let's keep going. I'm at an hour and 42 minutes. Let's see if I can go another 18 minutes so my voice doesn't come out. So the new people coming on, please comment. Lots of people are commenting now. Let me know. What do you think about that picture? And do you want me to explain to the new people, how did they do that? It's real. She lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. It's not a diet. It's not counting calories, and there's no exercise involved, although obviously you can do exercise if you want. They eliminated exercise because they didn't want that to be an outlier, if that makes sense. So who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, lots of hearts going up there. I know we're going to get over 20,000 now. This is the all-time record. You all did it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All-time record. Never have had 20,000 likes. So you really made up for this morning. That's why I try and do 3 to 4 to 5 of these a day, because it's different audiences, different times, etc. But again, if anybody would like to comment, Heather's commented, Tai, Coco. But I want to make sure that you all feel like this is a website that's safe. We're not going to harass you. We're not going to try and sell you anything. You get to see the medical proof, and then you decide if you want a coach. And the coach will show you how to buy your food from the grocery store, 30% of what you're going to buy, and 70% from these researchers who went around the world to find these food groups all over the world, in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That's what makes it special. That's why it works. 21,000. Wow. Whoever's tapping, keep tapping. That is just absolutely insanely good. Let's keep going. So I'm going to go for at least another 17 minutes. So please, anybody, come on, ask me a question. Well, let's look at some of the other people. We're looking at her for too long, maybe. So Julie, everybody, look at that. 35 pounds in 37 days. 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise. And she has no loose skin. And then my friend's daughter, April, this is his daughter. I didn't Photoshop the pictures. How about 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody? 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Where's the loose skin? Yeah, you can have, again, your coach will go over all that with you. Yes, you can have spicy foods. Yes, absolutely. You just go over that with your coaches. They'll go over it with you, okay? So we're now at 21,000. Let's keep going, everybody. And then let's look at the older gentleman here, 65 years old, 40 pounds, 52 inches in a month. But look at his lab work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. That's in 30 days with no exercise. What do you all think about that? I'd love for you to comment. What do you think about that, everybody? J.R. Oppenheimer. Well, you didn't stay very long. I get it. Because I think people say that, for the people that are on here, if you want to comment, would you think, if you hadn't heard what I've been explaining, would you think that was fake? Would you think it was unhealthy? Would you think it was not safe? Would you think it was like made up? Would you think it's photoshopped? Or I want to know. It helps me because we want to help and reach as many people as we can. So if we can eliminate or at least address some of their objections, then we want to do it. We want to help everybody. I'm sure whether it's Heather or Tai or Coco, you probably have a friend or a family member that's struggling with their weight and maybe their health, or maybe both. We all know it's because this is a global crisis we're facing. Let me say something else. In North America, in the United States anyway, the CDC, our Center for Disease Control, came out with a study last year saying, wait do you hear this, everyone? 92.3% of Americans are what's called metabolically unhealthy. They have what's called metabolic dysfunction. You've never heard of it. What's that? It's if you have 3 of these 5 factors, if you're overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, you're considered metabolically unhealthy. Do you know in these studies, well, I'll tell you how big of a problem it is. Of the federal budget of healthcare in the United States, we spend $4.5 trillion with the T dollars on healthcare. 25% now is metabolic syndrome, which is a total lifestyle disease. Back in like 1964, it didn't even exist. So this protocol, every one of those factors, not 2 or 3, all 5 came down dramatically. So this is one of the other huge reasons to do this is to combat metabolic syndrome, which we all have. Well, I don't have it anymore. I did because I was overweight, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I mean, I was a mess 23 years ago. That's another story for another day and another time. So again, who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, we get to 22,000. Oh my gosh, everybody, let's tap that screen, because then it makes the algorithm, more people will find out about this. More people have an opportunity to see this. Again, I would ask any of you, whether it's Tai or Coco, and be honest, is there anybody else you've seen on social media that has 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies and presenting medical evidence to you to say this is why you want to do this? Tell me if you've seen anybody. I don't know. I have not. I go on social media all the time on different platforms looking for people that are talking about weight loss. And it's really sad because they're all saying the same thing. It's calories in, calories out. And I haven't seen one with one shred of medical evidence because a before and after and an anecdotal story doesn't matter in the medical world. I can tell you because for 22 years, that's what I had until these studies have come out. But you're looking at the participants in the studies now. We don't have to make anything up. This is what they're experiencing. Wow, we're at 22,000. Come on, let's keep tapping. Let's keep going. Tai, Coco, not that you need to tap. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, who else? So back to Zenda, Golden Heart. Would you, any of you like to ask me a question? 22,000 likes. Wow, that's just wonderful. But I feel like I'm not doing my job if you're not asking me questions that I can answer to help you. To review for all of you, you can see there that the above her head in blue, the new health conversation, that's where you can go to see the medical proof. And if you like what you see, scroll down and you get a coach. We don't contact, if you go to that website, we won't contact you. So don't think you're going to go there and you're going to get a phone call from us. That's not what we do. We don't need to do that. Why should we need to convince you when we have the medical proof to prove everything we're talking about? Hello, Golden Heart. And back to Senator Golden Heart, you've been up there for a while. Oh yeah, because I was commenting about your car in whatever the little, I don't know what that's called. Is that it's not emoji, is it? See, I'm such a novice when it comes to social media stuff. But that's not, you don't want me to be, you want me to be an expert in one thing, and it's an, I've been called a lot of names, but the good one is I'm the researcher of the researchers. See, the website is designed, it's bringing you the proof. Now, we could give you, you could go and Google yourself and find the links because they're all in the public domain, but we've made it easy. They're all right there on, all you have to do is click on them, it takes you to the studies and a breakdown of the studies about the medical results, et cetera. Because I hope all of you that have been on here for a while now understand this is not a diet, it's revolutionary, it's a nutritional system. It's a nutritional system that becomes a way of life that's easy to follow, easy to follow. I've been doing it for 23 years, and I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago, and I've kept it off for 23 years. But again, you're being shy. I'm loving the hearts. I'm loving the taps. People must be enjoying it behind the scenes, behind closed doors. They're tapping on the screen. So I've got about 10 more minutes to go. I'll go longer than that if I think that people are still engaged and people are interested. I know that I do some of the longest podcasts on the whole social media. And I guess I'm breaking all the rules because they say you're supposed to be shorter. I never believed in that. I believe that when you're dealing with your health, any of you on here, when you're dealing with your health, what do you want me to hold back from you? Because you're making a decision that could be life-changing. Let's say you're a diabetic, or let's say you have high blood pressure, or let's say you've got some other things going on. This works in conjunction with whatever meds or protocols. It's not a replacement for. Don't hear me say that. Thank God we have drugs. I mean, the situation would be even worse than it is now. So let me share another thing with all of you about diets in general. And hopefully Tai and Heather and Coco, you all can hear this. So this is this is the Journal of the American Medical Association. And the title, no, I got the wrong one, sorry. This is the Journal of the American Medical Association, and the study is comparison of weight loss among named diet programs in overweight and obese adults. What they did, it's right in the study, they looked at 48 unique randomized trials, including 7,286 people. And what was in this study, they analyzed the studies of about every diet out there. They named them: paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, water fasting, the zone diet, the Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, all the diets, right? After 12 months, this shows you how ineffective diets are. When they had the most amount of weight to the least amount of weight in a year. You know what it was, everyone? The difference between most in 12 months? 10 ounces. That's not even an ounce a month difference in whatever. See, that's what I'm saying. And then listen to the failure. They lost in a year 16 pounds, and 25 to 40% of what they lost was lean muscle mass. She lost 21 pounds in a month and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. I'm serious. If you learn about this, do you think you'll ever do another traditional diet again? Or let me ask you this, why would you do that? Now let's talk about the shots that are a big deal now, the GLP-1s. We're not against the shots. They're helping diabetics, they're helping people who are morbidly obese. Now let's go this time, and you can go look it up yourself. The New England Journal of Medicine, arguably the number 1 or 2 medical journal in the world, recognized, right? The study was once weekly semaglutide in adults with overweight or obesity. The study was 68 weeks long, a year and 4 months. Got it? Now, I'm not criticizing, I'm just sharing with you the results. After 68 weeks, the resulting weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the weight loss, the 32 pounds, 40% was lean muscle mass. She lost 21 pounds in a month. How about Curtis, everyone? He lost 40 pounds in a month. It took him 68 weeks on the shot to lose 32 pounds, and 40% was lean muscle. He gained lean muscle. Do you see now, given an option, given a choice? We would never talk anybody. We have a lot of people that are on the shots, and they're terrified because of losing lean muscle mass. And we're trying to help them to not have that happen or slow down the loss of the lean muscle mass. Because you talk to anybody coming off the shot, some are gaining much as a half a pound a day. They're gaining 3-4 pounds a week. So the weight's coming on way faster than it came off. So who else would like to have 20? We're at 24,000. Oh, let's keep going. Oh my goodness. This is just crazy good. Just crazy. I've never ever had anything. You've beaten my old record by 8,000 or 9,000 likes. So it must really be resonating. This inspires me for the rest of today and tomorrow and next week and next year to continue to do this. Do you see the value in the education, everybody? Just April alone, how different is her life as a young woman? That's 8 years ago. She's kept it off for 8 years, 60 pounds in 3 months, everyone. 60 pounds. Is that just great? Doesn't that make you happy? I mean, she was happy before, it looks like. But now look at her face. Look at how much different her whole. I know you think it's a different woman. It's not a different woman. It's 3 months, 60 pounds. I know it sounds crazy, but this is going to change the world. So, wow, we're at 24,000 likes, and keep tapping. A lot of you must be supporting me in my quest to change the world. Somebody's got to do it. Why shouldn't it be me? We have the knowledge now, but we have the medical proof. That's the big difference. We're the only ones on social media that I can find with any medical proof, and yet you're all following calories in, not all of you. Calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out. It makes me dizzy. Go to Barnes & Noble. There's so many diets that'll make your head swim. Encourage more viewers to share. Yeah, share the live, share the live, share the live. So, again, at this point, I would ask everybody, well, you're already, at 24,000, this is crazy. It's crazy good. But who else would like to ask me a question before we close this out? Because I'm going to probably close it out in about 4 minutes unless someone asks me a question, because I don't want to just be doing a podcast for myself. So does anybody else? Hi, what is the solution about? Senator's seat. Wonderful. Finally. So let me go back. First of all, Senator's seat, are you looking to lose weight? Please put it in the chat because it'll help me in what I'm going to explain to you. Sorry, no, you're not late to the party at all. We're thrilled you're here, and now all my followers are boosting up my likes. Coco, it's all part of this. There's tons of fiber in this protocol. So Senator's seat, 5 kilograms, 10. Oh, so are you in the UK or somewhere over? Because it is available in the UK. Wow, Irene Smith, peaceful poetry, great. So Senator, let me explain to you. So what they did, the people that invented this, Senator, they're ranked the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world, the #1 people. They had done 40 years, 100 studies on human beings called peer-reviewed human trial studies, and the one conclusion they came to was this, or three. One, every person, every diet lost weight initially, okay? However, 2/3 of the people who lost the weight gained back more weight than lost. And the third thing, of the weight they were losing, like in your case, the 10 kilos, up to 40% of that was lean muscle mass, which caused them to gain all their weight back. So they said, something's wrong. They said, we're going to abandon calorie counting, which they'd done for 40 years, analyzing all these diets. So the switch was, we were going to concentrate on one new principle, and that was, there are 3 things that keep us alive: air, water, and something we need a minimum of, and it's not calories, nutrition. So the problem with diets is pretty simple. When you lower the quantity of food you're consuming, which is pretty much every diet out there, you're lowering nutrition. When the brain senses that, it triggers starvation, forcing you, the brain will stop accessing the fuel in your fat cell and turn to your muscles for fuel, slowing down the metabolism. That's why people gain everything back. So they said our goal would be this. We want to create a nutritional system. Listen to my wording, a nutritional system, not supplements, not counting calories, not count your carbs, nothing like that. And what they based it on was creating serving sizes. Now, why was that so important? Because the key to this was, could we give you less food, but give you more nutrition? Does that make sense? That was their goal. It was a theory. They didn't know, because this started, they started working on this about 13 years ago. And they have 10, I'm holding them in my hand, 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Nobody in the world has 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies for weight loss and health. These are the top people in the world, and they now have the medical proof to back up everything I'm going to share with you. So you'd get a grocery list, depending, you're somewhere in Europe, right? Okay, Tai, that's great. So Senator's seat. Well, anyway, it's available all through as long as you're in the EU, because we don't sell you anything. We don't have any products. 30% of what you're going to buy, you'll get a grocery list. You'll take it to your grocery store or supermarket. I think that's what they call it in England. And you would then get proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But we give you they give you serving sizes. Like if it's a protein, how many ounces, or if it's, let's say, a vegetable, a cup size, like a third or a half, depending on the vegetable. You don't have to figure out anything. You get that from your coaches, because you get coached for free if you decide to do this. Here's the list. But the key, the other 70% of this, and this is what made it work, didn't come from normal sources in normal countries. They sought out other researchers who'd gone to very specific areas in the world, like in Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America, where some of those people were living to be 100 years old. They were blue zones. And they brought back those nutrients, not the researchers who created this, but these other researchers. So now the researchers had part of the formula to create a nutritional system, because obviously it wasn't just what you were going to consume, it was when, how, and when you were going to consume it. So here's what they did. Using those two groups of foods, they created two new ways of eating food. That sounds crazy, but they did. 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Lunch would be from your grocery store list that you would have, serving sizes. Dinner from your grocery store list. And a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods or nutrient-dense foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. And what they proved, and what really mattered, was the fact it wasn't, because they tried it. They took the same amount of food, the same amount of nutrition, had people like eat lunch and dinner. It didn't work. They needed 4 meals a day. Now, this is only until you lose your weight, okay? There's another part we're going to talk about in a moment about maintenance. One of the main reasons to do this is for maintenance, to be able to keep the weight off. Listen, I lost 20 kilos 23 years ago in 7 weeks. I've kept it off for 23 years, just to let you know, Senator C. Got it? Now, 5 days a week, 4 meals. 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. In those days, no food from your grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, you're going to be eating 8 times a day, Senator C. You're eating about every hour and a half. We had diabetics on this. Nobody had an insulin spike. And people that weighed, like, let's say, 150 kilos, no hunger. Because here's the thing, Senator. We've never been hungry, never, ever been hungry for calories. Our body doesn't even know what a calorie is. It's the most ridiculous thing that we've all fallen victim to. That's what these researchers proved. It was about nutrition. And when you gave your body enough nutrition, it didn't matter how much or how little food you had, as long as you met that minimum criteria or beyond. That's what they did. Look at this gentleman here. Look at Curtis. That's 20 kilos and 52 inches in 30 days, Senator C. He's 65 years old. But look at his blood work. Look at his A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. See, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. It's to massively increase your health. And they needed a nutritional system. If that makes sense. Because a third of the food you're consuming comes from your supermarket. The other 70%. But then it was how you consume it. And look at the results. Look at those results. So anyway, let's come back to this for just a moment. Yeah, glucose is not important in regulating here. You're sorry, you're wrong. It has nothing to do with it. What happens, just to explain it to you, it's the reason I'm saying it's a nutritional system. If you know much about systems, like a car is a system, an airplane is a system, right? So let me give you a car analogy. So if it's in your, I think you call it a garage in the UK, whatever, it's all good. We're friends. I love England. I went there like 25 years ago. I went every month for 10 days. I drank your warm beer, and it only rained on me once, and I love England. It was wonderful. I'm not saying you're from England. I don't know where you're from. But anyway, to make a long story short. So the idea here was that we needed, essentially what the researchers did, they created the world's most perfect meals, which you would have, let's say, on the 5 days a week, you were having breakfast and dinner. So those were the bookends to make sure you had sufficient nutrition. In between, you were eating these foods, let's call them more chewable, whether it was protein, fat, carb, vegetable, whatever. So the glucose was balanced because of these rare combinations that were working together. Okay, there were things, for example, that actually reduced the amount of sugar that was available. It's a complicated metabolic process. We don't need to get into it. I mean, you could if you want to talk to one of the coaches later, that's fine. So it was this rare combination of the foods and then how they were consumed over what period of time and what spacing. Does that make sense, Senator? Senator Seat? Well, muscle, one thing that was so amazing about this Senator Seat, like no one was allowed to exercise, and yet they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Now, you would never have that happen on a diet. I can tell you right now, well, first of all, on a diet, you'd never lose 10 kilos in a month. No way in hell would that ever happen. She only had 15 kilos to lose. Let's talk about that. And I have no idea, Senator, what you want to lose. Can you tell me? Well, good. I'm glad it makes sense. I'm a scientist. I would hope the heck. But it's not my science, Senator. Okay, I didn't do these medical studies, but our job is to bring it to the world and make you available. That's why we created this movement. You can see it in blue right above our head, the New Health Conversation. It's our website, but that's our movement. And you don't have to join anything. What people are doing, they're going on it. They're having such amazing results. They're helping their friends and everybody else. It's wonderful. It's amazing. We need this in the world. For once, we can actually work together on a common goal, which our number one goal in our life should be what? Health. It's not a foreign concept to be healthy. But we are unhealthy as a world now. Really unhealthy. And this is why it's so important that we're able to create this podcast and share this kind of knowledge with you and the world. Who else is doing it? I don't know how much time you spend, Senator Seed, on social media. I haven't found one other person on social media with one shred of medical evidence. So, Senator, amazing. So that, I know this will sound crazy to you, but how excited would you be if you could lose those kilos in a month or less? As a matter of fact, I'll tell you how excited you'd be. Probably in the first 4 days, you'd probably lose 2 kilos in 4 days. How much would that motivate you? But remember, it's healthy weight loss. You're not losing lean muscle mass. You're not losing water weight. Senator, does that make sense? It's got to make sense. If you do like what, surely look at the website, and you see it there right in blue, right? The New Health Conversation. And understand, if you go there, then scroll down and you get a coach. Oh, the other thing I should tell you, it'll say next to the coaches, 100% money back guarantee. I should have clarified that for everybody. So those exotic foods from around the world, those researchers, in the first 30 days, because you're buying directly from them, they'll give you all your money back if it doesn't work. I'm not kidding you. There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. We're here to help people. We're not here to rip people off. Do you think they really could do that, everyone, if it didn't work? Because nothing's 100%, of course. Website is, there's no product, Peaceful Poetry. What is the website? There is no product. The website, I just explained it, Peaceful Poetry. Can you see it there? See it in blue above her head. Give me a yes, Peaceful Poetry. I want to make sure. A lot of people say they can't read it for whatever reason. The New Health Conversation. Wow, we're at 26,000 likes. This is insanely great. Awesome, everybody. I didn't even pay attention to that. Well, were you at that lecture? Because I was there. Were you there? Peaceful Poetry? You're talking about Bill Andrews, and John Anderson was my mentor. But we've taken this to a whole different level. So, Peaceful Poetry, do you understand the website? And yeah, if you were at that lecture, I was there. So that's how long I've been doing this, a long time. Yeah, Bill and John, exactly. But I was there also. Because I was the one that brought Bill and John together, if you want to know the truth about that. It was me that brought the two of them together, me as the researcher. And I met Bill actually, he found out about me, and then we got together, and then I put him together with John, and they created that amazing, it was called Product B back then. It doesn't even exist anymore, sadly. And I don't know if you know that John passed away about 3 years ago. Did you understand that? I don't know if you knew that or not. He was one of my dear, dear friends. I mean, he was amazing, amazing person. So what I would suggest, Peaceful Poetry, do you see the website now? Do you see it? Give me a yes, so I'm sure you see it. I feel the spirit of your telling the key story. Yeah. Well, that was one big story. I mean, it was amazing that I brought those two together, and they really developed something that it did change the world for a while, and then politics, not normal I'm just talking about internal strife and things, ended up that research ended, unfortunately. So yes, sir, you can see. So go to the website. There's nothing there to buy. You'll see all the medical proof, and then you can get a free coach if that's what you want to do. Or if you want to talk to me directly, because we could have a heck of a conversation, just put in, I want Peter to contact me. I met him with John and Bill. Just put that in the text. Otherwise, I won't have an idea who you are. Because I don't monitor the site. It's other coaches that are doing that, because we got so many people that want to do this. One of our biggest challenges is to make sure that everybody gets. I have it to my mother. Wow. Well, peaceful poetry, go ahead, fill it out and put you want to have Peter, and I promise I'll get back to you. Okay, how's that sound? Does that sound cool? Everybody, 26,000? Peaceful poetry, I'm talking about people tapping on the screen. I have 26,000 likes now. 20. Higgy Pie 87, you gave me a heart and a hat. Higgy Pie, I know that's like really cool. Were you trying to come on a little while ago live with me? It's not that I don't know why it's not working. Every time I click on to invite somebody on, it doesn't let me on. I'm going to have to talk to my web guy. Well, Peaceful Poetry, thank you so much. I'm very, very honored that you remember that, or you were part of it. The fact that you, because Bill's still alive, of course, but the fact you met John, he's legendary. I mean, he was the one that encouraged me to become a researcher, to be quite honest with you. I had no idea that I was going to even do what I ended up doing, but it was because of John Anderson. So again, we're at 26,000. Come on, I know we can get some more taps. Now I've broken through the sound barrier. I'm now at 2 hours and 10 minutes, so I'm going to definitely go longer. I'm so motivated by everybody. And Peaceful Poetry, I'm so glad you found me. Dr. Christopher, can this help with signs of aging, dark circles, puffy eyes? Coco, absolutely. It's a detox. We've seen people, again, I'm just telling you what we've seen. Rosacea, we've seen psoriasis, we've seen all kinds of skin conditions massively improve because it's a detox. It's not a diet. The side benefit is you're going to lose weight. Coco, I can't wait for you to get a coach and get going, because again, if you've got time's wasted, you need to get, if you're going to make that appearance at your reunion as successful as it can be, you want to get started. Who else would like to ask me a question? And we're at 26,000. I know we're going to get to 27,000. Let's keep going. Let's keep tapping on that screen. So Peaceful Poetry, I'm going to look forward to seeing you on the website, okay? Come on, everybody. Who else wants to ask me a question? And like I said, Higgy Pie 87, was that you coming on that wanted to come on to the thing? I worked with Dr. John R. Christopher to John Anderson, changed the world as we know it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Huh. I mean, he was my really good friend. I went on vacations with him, and he just took me, and I really became kind of his apprentice. And then I took it from there based on his help. I mean, I then started writing books on my own and met these other researchers from around the world and became one of the first people really screaming about toxic chemicals. If you remember, that was one of the things I pioneered, that whole, not the concept, but just the awareness of it. Let me be clear. I didn't do the research, but I brought the research, just like I'm doing to this now. So what John invented all that long ago, we've taken to a whole different level. It's evolved. I mean, of course you can have sweets and carbs again, of course, but not just initially, at least within, let's say, the first 2 or 3 weeks. Then you can have, I have Haagen-Dazs. I had pizza last night. I eat ribs. I have adult beverages. I'm living my life. Maintenance is not about deprivation. This is not about deprivation. But one of the things you'll find, Coco, that'll probably blow your mind, your cravings are going to drastically change. So now, like, let's say I eat before I'd eat a whole pizza. Now maybe I have 2 or 3 slices. No, I eat spaghetti. I like lasagna. I like everything. But I eat way less because I'm full with nutrition. That's what you got to understand. Coco, I'm so excited for you. You're going to blow your family away. They're going to go, what? Are you sick? That's what they usually say. Are you sick? Because no one's ever seen anything like this before. Come on, everybody. We're at 26,000. Come on, let's keep going. Coco, that's why you need to talk to a coach. They'll answer all those questions. They had the same questions, okay? Coco, are you a little bit excited? Are you excited? So Peaceful Poetry, are you living in the Reno area now? Because obviously that's where Bill was from. You're carrying on the legacy, your words ring pure and true. I'll go to the website, connect with you. Wonderful, Peaceful. I'm really looking forward to it. Because that's like crazy that you would be on here and remember that. And I was all part of that, obviously. So come on, we're at 26,000. I know we can do better than that. Come on. I'm thrilled. I'm not disappointed. This is the whole point of this movement, is to make it available to as many people as we possibly can. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I guess I'm just going to carry on. Now you got me jumping all over the place here for some reason. I didn't think we were having a problem. Pop-out chart. Oh, I forgot to click on it. Okay. So they can't comment. All right, I get it. That's my web guy. He's scolding me that I didn't do. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a techie. I'm a researcher. Comments. Okay, pop-up. All right. He's correcting me. I'm sorry about that, everybody. No, there's a section where you can put comments in the chart. Some of you are probably frustrated because you couldn't do that. That's my fault. I didn't click on the pop-out charts. I forgot that part. Wow. Peaceful Poetry. Incredible. Yeah, Salt Lake Now. Do you recall George? Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's so nice of you. Well, Peaceful, we're going to have a heck of a. Oh, I see you, Nayan. This is so cool. My web guy, you know where he lives? In Bangladesh. It's 12:30 at night there. He's wonderful. He's the smartest. Oh my gosh. He makes me look good, if you can believe that. But he's responsible for all this that we're doing right now, Peaceful Poetry and everybody else. Peaceful, I promise, when you go to that site, your jaw will hit the floor. Here's the saddest thing ever, Peaceful. The studies that I've been referencing, these 10 peer-reviewed studies, John never got to see them before he died. They weren't published yet. And the top researchers who did this, one of them who's considered the top weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world, he just said that John was a genius. We know he was. We know he was a special kind of person, you know. But gosh, now I'm really looking forward to have that conversation. So if you fill it out, I can even call you back here. I can even call you back this afternoon if you're going to be around. Just put your, put your phone number in. Yeah. Well, again, understand it's not my work so much. It's my work. My work really has been to make the world aware of what I've discovered. But it's not my research, and I'm very clear about that. Peaceful Poetry. I'm absolutely thrilled. But, well, I'll share this off camera. And when you call me, I'll tell you about the conversation I had with his wife at his funeral about me carrying on his work. I mean, it was unbelievable. It just gives me goosebumps even now. And I know he'd be really proud of me, what I'm doing right now to bring his legacy to the world, in a sense, right? There's a lot more involved in it than that. But people don't understand that we really have a gift now. And this is so far beyond anything. Oh, I can't, I'm not looking at, I can't go to that site right now. I mean, while I'm on these podcasts, I have to stay on there or I'll lose my connection. I'll go to my email here in a few minutes. If you're going to be around, I'll end this probably in about another, well, I'm at 27, listen to that, Peaceful, I'm at 27,000 likes. I'll probably go another maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll call you right after that. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. What a great thing to have, to be remembered like that, as someone that is my soul, my drive is to change the world. That's never changed ever, and that's what John. He encouraged me to do what I did. What we're talking about, everybody, this is someone who actually knows me from years ago. And the original nutraceutical chemist who invented some of this was just one of the most amazing human beings on the planet. He died like 3 years ago. He's my real dear friend. And this gentleman knew him as well. And It just proved that this is crazy, 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 in a good way. So come on, everybody, let's get some more taps. Let's get to at least 28,000. I hope I don't have to stay here until all night. No, I'm just kidding. And I think what you're going to find, peaceful poetry, is what you knew back then doesn't even resemble what we're doing now. Using obviously some of his nutritional technology, but we've created a whole new thing. Working with one of my colleagues is the top oncologist in the world, who worked with two men who won the Nobel Prize in medicine. He was affecting some of the changes that we had, and I've just been really blessed that I've gotten to. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I did discover this medical syndrome, TDOS, that you and me and every person in the world has. T for toxicity, D for deficiency, O for overweight, S is for stress. You see my name there, Peter Greenlaw. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. It's the main reason to do this is not for the weight loss. It's to detox the body. There's no other system in the world. And the researchers in the new research that John never got to see, when they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, they proved that this was removing chemicals from the body. We never had that kind of proof years and years ago. So it's really, I'm happy that it happened, but I sure wish that he had been around to see it, because he certainly deserved what he contributed to mankind. I don't think maybe we'll look back 100 years from now and recognize. And now, with 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese, we got a major crisis on our hands. And Johns Hopkins Medical School, Peaceful Poetry, I'll read you from the study. They're projecting by 2024, 86% of America will be overweight or obese. So the need for what John did is more than it's ever been before, let alone all the medical ramifications that we're facing. Wow, Peaceful Poetry. You changed my mother's life with John and Bill's Product B. Wow. Wow. Well, I'm very happy. Yeah. That is just amazing, amazing. It gives me goosebumps. Okay, so are people running out of time, or you're tired of tapping on the screen for me? That's okay. I mean, my voice is going anyway. I need to rest my voice. And Peaceful, I'll call you here in a few minutes. So, I just want to thank all of you. This has just been it's the most powerful podcast I've done up to this point. It's now 2:30 on the East Coast. I'll probably do another one in about an hour at about 3:30, because I do need to let my voice rest a little bit. Okay, everybody? Wait, they're still supporting me here. I'm not going to quit. As long as I see hearts coming up there, I'm gonna keep going. But all of those tapping on the screen, do any of you have a question for me? You're obviously supporting the heck out of me. Does anybody else have a question for me? No sound detected. That's because I wasn't talking. So TikTok's talking to me, telling me there's no sound, because I was just pausing to wait and see if anybody wanted to ask me a question. I've just shown Boss Lady. Okay. All right. So Boss Lady, let me explain to you what this isn't and what it is, and why it works, and why it's going to change the world. So if you wouldn't mind, Boss Lady, are you looking to lose weight? And if so, how much? Because we have people who want to gain weight. We have athletes. We have kids as young as 2. We have a lady 91 years old. We have a man we have people with no thyroids. We have people with a heart transplant and no kidney transplant. We also have people with no gallbladders. So Peaceful Poetry, maybe a few more minutes, because I want to absolutely answer Boss Lady's questions. I want to lose 10 kilograms. Okay. Are you in the UK, Boss Lady? Or somewhere in the reason I ask, we got to make sure that the things that they used, you can get them in your country. So I do need to know what country, because I don't want to. Oh, Sweden, perfect. Yes, absolutely. Part of the EU. Okay, so let me explain it to you briefly. And thank you. Isn't it, let me guess, is it 8:30 at night in Sweden right now? Because it's 12:30 in Denver, Colorado. I'm just curious. Am I right? Aren't you about 8 hours ahead of me, I think? Yes. I guessed correctly. I got something right. Okay, so, Boss Lady, let me explain to you. This protocol has nothing to do with counting calories. It was invented by the top weight loss, nutrition, physiologist in the world. Got it? They, for 40 years, had done 100 studies, thousands of people on real human beings. And you know what they determined? That on every diet, every time people lost weight initially, But 2/3 of people, not only did they come back to the weight where they started, but they actually gained more weight than they had. And the reason for that was what we're doing around the world, we're counting calories. Boss lady, it'll help me out. Do you agree? Any diet you've been on or done with some form of counting calories. Am I correct? Right? Give me a yes if that's the case. Agree. All right. Did you know, for example, boss lady, I'm not putting you on the spot because I didn't know. So don't think I'm trying to put you on the spot. Do you know the medical definition of a calorie? Yes or no? And the reason I'm asking you all these questions, it's going to help me to explain to you why this is going to work. No, right. So, and I'm not being a smart aleck. So boss lady, you went on diets, or you are on diets, you're counting calories, and you don't even know what a calorie is. So I would have to say, just like me, why are we counting calories? Does that make sense? Because I'm going to explain something to you. Your hunger has nothing to do with calories. A calorie is nothing more than a measurement. It's not a real thing. When you're hungry, you are not hungry for calories. This is what we're going to teach you right now. Because the researchers, that's what they determined. They said the fallacy, after 40 years, every diet they analyzed was about counting calories. They never worked long term. Because what happens when you go on a diet, boss lady, this is a different way of thinking about it. You're reducing the quantity of food, they call it calories, but you're really reducing the amount of food you're consuming. But what else are you reducing? Boss lady, we're alive because of three things: air, water, and something we need a minimum of, and it's not calories, nutrition. When you go on a diet and reduce the amount of food you're consuming, you reduce the amount of nutrition, it triggers in your brain starvation. And let me know if I'm talking too fast, too, because, I mean, sometimes, especially people in foreign countries, they say, you talk so fast. It's just because they get excited. So I'll slow down for you. Now, what the researchers said, we're going to do something totally different. We're going to go and pick foods that you would go to your local store and buy, but only 30% of what she consumed or what you'd consume from your local store. This includes proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but instead of the amount of calories they want you to eat, they're going to give you a serving size, okay? Like how much protein, how much vegetable. It's all laid out. You don't have to, they figured all this out, okay? So that was 30% of what she consumed. The other 70% comes from other researchers who'd gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, in the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. And they created what they call a nutritional system. So the system consisted 30% from your grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods around the world, and then they invented two new ways of eating. I didn't misspeak. 5 days a week, you would have 4 meals a day. Your breakfast would be these foods, these nutrients from around the world. No food from your local store. Lunch from your local store. Now remember, you're going to have a list to take to your store to know what to buy in the serving sizes. You're not having to figure out anything. You just follow what we're going to show you. Dinner with your family with, again, the foods from the grocery store, from your store. And after dinner, a fourth meal from these exotic foods around the world. Now, I know it sounds crazy to you. You're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to lose weight even 4 meals a day? Trust us, okay? Just for a minute anyway. You can see the results of what she did. Now, 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Now, 2 days a week, this is going to throw you off when I tell you you're going to do intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, nothing to do with fasting as you would know it. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time you're going to eat them 8 times a day. You're literally eating every hour and a half. Do you know on this, the diabetics, boss lady, maybe you wouldn't know this, they didn't have insulin spikes. And people that weighed 200 kilos, they weren't hungry. Why? Because it had nothing to do with calories. And when you can give your boss lady, when you can give your body, when it has enough nutrition, you're not hungry. But you'll never be full if you can't meet the minimum amount of nutrition that we need, because it's nutrition that keeps us alive by fueling our brain, our kidney, our liver, our heart, our pancreas, etc. Does that make sense? Also, she was not allowed to exercise. And instead of losing lean muscle, she gained 3 to 4.5 kilos of lean muscle in a month with no exercise. Look at her stomach. Look at that. Boss lady, look at that. That's without any exercise. Because the other huge part of this that you need to be aware of that's affecting you around the world, including in Sweden, is this new medical syndrome called TDOS. The T is for toxins. The D is for nutritional deficiency. The O for being overweight, and the S is for stress. I have it, you have it, every person in the world. Peter Greenlaw, that's me. I discovered it. That's not what matters. We now know what we didn't know, that we're all eating and drinking chemicals that are circulating around the world. This they proved through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. This is removing chemicals from the body. Because see, what your body's doing, part of your weight is, I'm sure you're unhappy about some of the fat you probably have, but your body's trying to protect you because as we ingest these chemicals, the body takes the chemicals. Guess what it does with it? Stuffs it in your fat cells. That's why look at her stomach on day 1 and look at her stomach on day 30. This is a real detox. It's not a diet, it's a detox. Now, again, this aggressive part here, until we get the 10 kilos off you, then you go on, guess how simple maintenance is? Me, every morning I have these exotic foods from around the world, then I have lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery store, and then every couple months I do another 48-hour, the intermittent nutritional fasting. I lost 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago, boss lady, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Do you know most women on this lose a whole dress size in a week with no exercise? How much would that excite you? Because one of the most expensive parts, I tell women all the time, I said the most expensive part of this is the new wardrobe you're gonna have to buy. And you know what they tell me? No, Peter, you don't understand. I can go shopping in my own closet. They're so funny. They tell me that all the time. This is going to change the world, boss lady. This is not a diet. Does that make sense? Are you educated? Does it absolutely make sense? Oh, you're at work. Oh, I see. Okay. So, most important thing, boss lady, do you see in blue above her head the new health conversation? You can go there and you'll get a coach. The only thing on that site, boss lady, is the medical proof. And what you would do, just go to Google and type in, so write it down if you're at work so you remember after this, the new health conversation. I'm going to show you the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. Only the medical proof. So you go to, there it is, the new health conversation. There's the website, and there's nothing to buy on that website. But if you scroll down past all the medical proof, it says free coaching. It's free. So it's like you're going to do a consultation, it's free. You're going to get coached, it's free. Teaching you how to do the maintenance part, it's free. We got coached, but we're responsible for teaching other people how to do this. Yes, but the only way we can contact you, and if you're going to put your information in, make sure if it's a telephone number, it has to be a WhatsApp. You're probably familiar with WhatsApp. What's APP? It's free. You can download it for free if you don't have it. But it lets us call you because sometimes your calling codes and stuff get messed up and we can't get through to you. We can text on it, etc. They also do Zoom. I'm sure you have Zoom probably. If not, you can type in zoom.us and get free Zoom. We're not messing around here. We're very serious about making sure that you understand exactly to get your maximum benefit. That's what we want to teach you. Does that make sense? Oh, but no, put it when you go to the website, put it, you have a WhatsApp, that's wonderful. But put it in the chat. I'm sorry, when you go to the website, you'll see it says free coaching. Fill that out and so they'll have your information and then put in there like you want to lose 10 kilos or whatever if you've got any other health issues. But are you a little bit excited, boss lady? I'm serious. Is this exciting? How much? Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to tell you right now, the 10 kilos, easily by the middle of August. How much would that excite you? Because we know winter's coming, so you want to spend as much time, I'm sure, in a bathing suit or in shorts as possible, right? So we're going to get you there faster. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. It's really crazy. Does that make sense, boss lady? So you go to the website, look at the medical proof, and then scroll down and it says free coaching. Fill it in and put your WhatsApp number in there and obviously your email address. Okay? Are you a little bit excited though? Are you a little bit excited? Or would you be unhappy to have to be buying new clothes in mid-August? Would that be good or bad? I'm being silly. I'm punch drunk because this is now 2 hours and 33 minutes on this podcast, and I already did one this morning at 6 a.m. my time, which would have been like 2 in the afternoon in Sweden. So now we know it's. I want to make you laugh because this is, but listen, it's going to change the world. It's going to change the world. There's nothing like it, boss lady, nothing. And you're already saying that I'm absolutely right. You agree with the science. This is all based on science. I don't sell you anything. The coaches aren't selling you anything. They're showing you how to order the exotic foods, your grocery, and then they're going to coach you free every day. Every day. Make sure you're doing it correctly. Give you a boost if you need it. But like I said, how excited would you be if by mid-August you're down 10 kilos? I know it sounds crazy because you're not used to that. You're maybe a half a kilo a week, right? Maybe? Oh my gosh. We're changing lives. That's all I can tell everybody. So would anybody else like to ask me a question before we close? Oh, there's still hearts coming up. So people must want me to stay longer. As long as those hearts are coming up, I'm staying. As long as my voice doesn't crack or fall apart or whatever. Okay, as long as you're tapping, let's keep going and see if we can get to 28,000, right? My poor guy in Bangladesh, because I need to do a conference call with him here in just a little while. Peaceful poetry, get some water. Yeah, but I'd have to leave the studio to do that. That's a little bit cumbersome. I'll stay going. But peaceful poetry, are you sensing already? Do you see the need around the world for this? Do you see the need? It's crazy. When we were doing it all those years ago, there wasn't the awareness that there is now. The awareness now is off the charts around the world that we have a catastrophe on our hands. And let me read to you peaceful poetry and everybody else, including Boss Lady. This is from. Oh, can I explain why? Can I read it to you? Okay. The calories, now this is from the top researchers in the world to address your great question there, C4RB. Let me explain it to you. The calories in, calories out model is a public health disaster. Adopted by nearly 100% of dieters, yet it drives an obesity apocalypse that threatens to engulf humanity. Calories in, calories out, near universal failure is undeniable. Studies in the Lancet 2021 and Obesity Review 2018 reveal that 50 to 70% of dieters who use calories in, calories out regain more weight than they lost. Driven by metabolic adaptations, notably the surge in ghrelin, the hunger hormone, ghrelin, which signals hunger to the brain, spikes during calorie restriction, intensifying cravings and appetite. What they're saying is that ghrelin that tells you that you're hungry goes up on diets. But let me give you another medical explanation to answer your great question, and I really appreciate it. Again, this is from the experts. Nothing I'm sharing with you is my opinion. This is from the medical experts. They're saying the biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is that it ignores that the body adjusts its control systems when calorie intake is reduced. So while the calories in, calories out formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. Now, let me give you some of the medical studies proving what I'm saying. Let's just go directly to Medicare. Listen to the title and then listen to what they said. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments, diets are not the answer. Our researchers reviewed long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether calorie-restricted diet is an effective calories in, calories out, effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any calorie in, calorie out diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that calories in, calories out diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. That's Medicare telling you. I hope that answers your question. First of all, let me ask you a question, because I didn't know 24 years ago, so I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Do you know the medical definition of a calorie? Because you're going to be one of 9 people in a year who have gotten the definition correct. There's so much missing. Because your body, what is it? C4RB. No, you mean counting calories? It has nothing to do with counting calories. Your body has no idea at all what a calorie is. It can't. Again, do you know the physical definition of a calorie? If you don't, it's okay too. But you have to understand all these studies. The science behind why diets don't work, another huge study. They said, our researchers reviewed more than 30 long-term studies, calories in, calories out, and they found that the calories in, calories out actually causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does calories in, calories out dieting not work for the long-term weight loss, it's associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. So counting calories is going to cause you to gain weight. Those are what the experts are saying. So you got it. You're 95%. You get an A on that description. Look, CR4B. What I'm telling you is, these researchers, the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, 10 peer-reviewed studies. They did 40 years of research. They did over 100 studies, thousands of people on calories in, calories out. 3 things happened. 1, every person lost weight on calories in, calories out. Number 2, 2/3 gained more weight than they lost. And number 3, this is undeniable medical evidence. When they measured lean muscle, of the weight they were losing on calories in, calories out, 25 to 40% was lean muscle, which caused them to slow their metabolism and gain all their weight back. Calorie counting is dead. It's over. It's finished. It's a dogma. Now, if you really want to see a more detailed interview I did on my TikTok site at The New Health Conversation, there's a playlist, 4-part series with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. And he goes in those 4 parts explaining to you, they, as the top researchers in the world, will never, ever put anybody on calorie-restricted traditional diets ever again. And they're the top people in the world. That's not me saying that. That's them. And you are now number 10 person. I'm so impressed that you got it pretty much right. It's actually, you just didn't quite finish it. So it's not really it's not like the amount of energy it takes to raise a gram. It's the amount of heat it takes to raise 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. But I'm gonna give it to you, because you're the 10th person in a year to get it right. And all these people are counting calories. Why are they counting calories when they don't even know what a calorie is? Does that make sense? C4RB? No, you don't understand. Why would you count calories when the human body has no idea what a calorie is? The only thing your body cares about is nutrition, and that's what these researchers proved. The calorie is useless to the human body. It's just a measurement. Why would that have any bearing on what we're doing? There's a bunch of them that prove that. Okay, here's a good one for you, all right? How about, write this down, okay, CRB. New England Journal of Medicine, biggest medical journal in the world. Got it? The New England Journal of Medicine. Once weekly semaglutide in adults with overweight or obese. Got it? This is a study on these shots, which is nothing more than a low-calorie diet. I'm sure if you don't know that, that's what it is. I'm going to read to you from the study, okay? And you can go and you can read it, okay? This is the most damning thing ever. 68 weeks on semaglutide. And I'm not against the shots. It's helping diabetics and helping people morbidly obese. But to soothe your curiosity, once weekly semaglutide in adults with overweight or obesity. After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds. And now you need to go way back in the appendix to the study and see it. They said 40% of the weight loss was lean muscle mass. This is the New England Journal of Medicine, not Peter Greenlaw telling you this. There you go. You don't have to go to PubMed. Go right to the New England Journal of Medicine, #1 journal in the world. There you go. Because all these, the shot's nothing more than a low-calorie diet. If you didn't know that, you know it now. It's just slowing down the food, moving through your digestive tract. Code word, you eat less food, but you're getting less nutrition. Has nothing to do with calories. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. Why should we count calories? Insanity, crazy, nutso. We've got 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. You think you're producing that on calorie? You lost 21 pounds in a month and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Well, how about a 65-year-old guy, 40 pounds, 52 inches in a month, and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise? What do you think about that? They don't do calories. They do serving sizes. That's what the researchers did. That's why they changed the game. They abandoned no calorie counting. They gave serving sizes, and they picked the foods, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, and gave people serving sizes. And they're the top weight loss nutrition human physiologists in the world. You know how rare it is to be a human physiologist who studies the nutrients once they enter the body? These are the top people in the world, rated the top people in the world, not some amateurs. This is so exciting. It's going to change the world. But look at this guy, 65 years old, 40 pounds in a month. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. Look at his stomach, how much it went down. This is a detox. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this is removing chemicals from the body. No diet's ever done that. Calories in, calories out. It's nonsense. We need to kill calorie counting. It's nonsense. It always has been. It doesn't work. In 1964, 15% of America was overweight and obese. Johns Hopkins Medical School, right, got it right here somewhere. Here it is. They project in 4.5 years, 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese. And then they said by 2048, all American adults will become overweight or obese. So we got to stop the madness. The madness is counting calories, thinking somehow it's going to work. It doesn't work long term. It's never worked long term. Another big study, they said why you shouldn't count calories. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. And then we've got people like, what's going on? Something happened. Oh, the camera went off because I was getting too excited. Sorry about that. Hold on, everybody. Sometimes I get so excited that I make my camera disconnect. Maybe that's a good thing for most of you. But let's take a look here just to give you an idea also. Okay, let's look at Harvard Medical School. Okay? Title, Stop Counting Calories. We have been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Now, this is Harvard Medical School saying this, not me. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. There, Harvard Medical School. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard Medical School. Calorie counting is dead. Although, like they said in that one study, that almost 100% of dieters are doing some form of calorie counting, and we're getting bigger and fatter and sicker every year. So the definition of insanity is what? You keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. How's that turning out for us? Not too well. No. You're wrong. No. A calorie is the amount of heat it takes to raise a gram of water 1 degree Celsius. That's it. You had the definition. You were almost correct. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about. It's not a measurement of the nutrients or the energy produced by certain nutrients. No, you're wrong. It's a measurement. It's a amount of, and you can't even, the only way you can measure calories in a laboratory. The body can't do that. It's silly. Harvard Medical School is telling you stop counting calories. I'm going with them. And all these other researchers. I'm working with the top people in the world. I mean, I don't know, do whatever you want to do. It won't change my life. All I know is I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago, and I kept it off for 23 years, and it saved my life. But anybody, it sounds like you're very, very smart. All right, well, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. But you'll never produce a diet counting calories that has any long-term effect, period. I don't give a damn, however you want to phrase it. That's why they stopped calorie counting. They're the smartest people in the world in this field. I don't care what's on the goddamn food label. They're doing great for us, aren't they? We're going to trust the food companies? Really? Really? You mean the ones, get a book called Salt, Sugar, and Fat, where they prove that the food companies spend $1 billion to create the bliss point, which is the combination of salt, sugar, and fat that addicts us to the food. Yeah, look it up. Salt, sugar, and fat. Go read the book. It's crazy what's going on. As long as you stop doing it, it's not, well, okay. What do you think about triepside? Well, I just read for you, Jenna, from this is the New England Journal of Medicine on semaglutide, which is one of the GLP-1s, right? So let me just read to you from the results, okay? Just so you understand. Now let's keep that in reference for just a moment here. You see that? Do you see that, Jenna? How excited would you be? Are you on the shot, or have you gone on the shot? Are you thinking about the shot? Let me know, because that makes a difference. But here's the New England Journal of Medicine. This was a 1 and 4 month study, 68 weeks, Jenna, on semaglutide, one of the GLP-1s, right? After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds they lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. I'm just reading. We're not against the shots. They're helping diabetics. They're helping people that are morbidly obese. But comparing that to this, I've been on it, okay? So as long as you've been on it, I'm just curious. So are you still on it? And the time you've been on it, from your starting weight until now, how much have you lost and how long has it taken you? This is great research for me, for everybody, just to see this open forum. It's wonderful. And C4B, at least we're having a civil discussion. We might disagree. You think what you think. All I know is I've worked with the top people in the world, and I'm going by what they're telling me. It's not my research. Okay? Show me any public study that simply says that CECO just that. What do you mean? You didn't finish the sentence. Oh, doesn't work. Well, I just read you the one study saying there's never been a, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Medicare? Didn't I just read that to you? In all the studies they looked at, that 2/3 of the people gained back more weight than they lost by counting calories? What universe are you living on? Are you on a different planet? Did you not hear me say that? That's Medicare saying that. That's not me. I mean, if you think calorie counting works, good. You probably think the world's flat then, or we didn't land on the moon. That's good too. But Jenna, let me deal with you, okay? I was one of the GOPs for a year and lost 35 pounds and gained it all back in 6 months. So Summer, you're proving my point. 230 starting August. I'm now 153 and starting to do maintenance once a month. Well, to give you an idea, so you lost, that's wonderful. You lost, let's see, 50, about 50 pounds, right? Now let's compare this with a friend of mine's daughter, okay? Not to belittle what you did. It's wonderful, right? But wait till you see this. How about 60 pounds in 3 months, Jenna? 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise, no loose skin. C4B, I don't have any more time for you, okay? Do whatever you want to do, okay? I mean, the point is that we have 80% of America overweight, and you're trying to tell me that calorie counting, which 100% of dieters are doing, works long term. I mean, I don't have time. I'm going to deal with people that really want to know about this, right? Oh, I can't? Oh, really? Okay, now see, you got it going. Okay. The thermodynamics does not apply to weight loss, the flaws of calorie theory. For decades, the conventional wisdom surrounding weight loss has been dominated by a simplistic formula, eat less, move more. This advice has been framed around the idea that calories as calories as a unit of energy can be managed like a straightforward equation, calories in, calories out. But if this is true, then why have we become so fat, sicker as a society, despite wide adherence to calorie counting diets and fitness routines? The answer lies in the deep biological complexities that govern our bodies, which are far more intricate than the laws of thermodynamics. At the heart of the calorie theory is the first law of thermodynamics, which asserts that the energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. This principle applies to a closed-loop system where energy is conserved. However, the human body is not a closed-loop system. It's constantly interacting with the environment, expelling heat, sweating, and releasing waste. This makes the first law in isolation an incomplete explanation for how we gain and lose weight. So thermodynamics is a bunch of crap when it comes to the human body. Okay, here's the medical proof. Now you're making me angry. It's nonsense. See, people like you are why we're in such a desperate state, telling people that counting calories works as a weight loss protocol. It's nonsense. Just like all these people, they're doing the shots and are in low-calorie diets, and we're not even against them. But you try and tell me calorie counting, you're going to lose 60 pounds in 3 months, and that difference is there? No, it's not. Listen, my own mother was morbidly obese. That's why I'm so damn fired up about this. And 24 years ago, called me up one day and said, Peter, I have one wish in my life. I said, what's that, Mom? She said, I'd give anything if I could spend one day thin. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mother did every one of these goddamn diets, calories in, calories out, went to Weight Watchers, did all this crap. Yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm very mad because everybody's telling people it's calories in, calories, thermodynamics. It's a bunch of horse manure. It's not true. So you can keep your opinion. Yeah, you feel you've lost muscle because I read to you from the study, Jenna. 40% of what they lost in the weight, right in the studies, was lean muscle mass. How much more? That's the New England Journal of Medicine, the highest medical journal in the world. Not somebody giving me an opinion. That's correct. If you eat less and you move more, you will not lose weight and you'll lose lean muscle mass. 100% for sure. 100%. They didn't let these people exercise. Look at you trying to tell me on a diet you'd produce that? She was not. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. CRB4. Go with whatever you want. It's great. Whatever you think. It's cool. But how many times have you appeared on national television? How many times? I was on PBS 20 different times. I've written 4 best-selling books as one of the biggest medical doctors in the world. Did 1,500 lectures around the world, including in hospitals and universities. I was invited. I was a keynote at Autism One, the largest autism conference in the world, 2 years in a row. How many of those things did you do? You're part of the problem. You're thinking, you're telling me thermodynamics works when it's a bunch of nonsense. Thermodynamics cannot apply to the human body because it only applies to a closed loop system. I read to you, the body's an open system. Why would you make a preponderant statement like that that has no basis in medicine, in fact? It's crazy. Sorry, Jenna, I'm all fired up. No, Jenna, that's not right. No, it's not. No. As a matter of fact, she's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Jenna, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. You know what this program's called? R2M, Race to Maintenance. The whole idea behind this, but also on what you did on the GLP-1, you didn't remove any toxins from your body. Were you here when I was talking about that? And that's the other problem with calories in, calories out. There's not a gram of toxin ever shown in any of these coming out of the body. This TDOS syndrome, which I did discover, it's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. T for toxins, D for deficiency, O for being over, S for stress. And you and me and CRB and every person in the world has toxins in our body. And no diet has ever been shown in any test to ever remove a gram of toxin from the body until now. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is removing chemicals from the body. People are defending me. So Jenna, the best thing, no, I wasn't. Jenna, I'm not quite sure. I'm not mad at you, Jenna. I mean, you have to understand that when we're talking about in 4.5 years, 86% of America being overweight and obese, and people are trying to tell me that calorie counting works long term, I kind of get upset. My own mother died of obesity. She dieted herself to death. It's going to be pretty hard for me to ever come around to calorie counting. It's one of the main reasons I became a researcher. I discovered a medical syndrome that's recognized, and I was right. I've written 4 best-selling books to some top medical doctors in the world, the people I work with. It's not me. I'm not the smart one. All I'm doing is reporting the research. And when someone tells me that thermodynamics works, and then I read to you that it can't possibly work because thermodynamics is based on a closed-loop system, and the human body is an open system. So what? I mean, it's silly. Just silly. Oh, okay. But you are now for the toxin talk. You understand. So what's happening to us, and the reason that she's shrinking, or the reason, let's say, Kristen, here's a good example. Look at her stomach, okay? So what's happening to us as we drink, breathe, and eat these chemicals, as they come in our body, the body, to protect us, is taking the chemical and stuffing it in our visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs, okay? Now, why is this such a detriment? And see, in the shot, you haven't removed any toxins from your body. Now, let me read to you from the... Now, we didn't even know, Jenna, we were storing chemicals in our body to 2005, Mount Sinai Medical School in New York. They did the first study on humans. Now, 25 years later, there have been 1,000 studies, and this is what they've now concluded, the biggest experts in the world, not me. Listen to this. The Endocrine Society, the largest organization of experts devoted to research on hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports the rise in the incidence of obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrial chemicals. These chemicals are called obesogens. Here's what they said. Simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal system, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. No calories in, calories out has any impact on toxins or on obesogens. Zero. They enter our body from a variety of sources, from natural compounds in soy, artificial hormones fed to animals, plastic pollutants, food packaging, chemicals added to processed food, and pesticides sprayed into produce. They act in a variety of ways mimicking human hormones such as estrogen, blocking the action of other hormones such as testosterone, and essentially reprogram us to gain weight. Jenna, did you know anything about toxins, about obesogens? See, this is our problem. We're trying to deal, we're putting people on diets, counting calories that have no impact on the thing that we all should be frightened about. Jenna, you can look it up from 2 months ago. Show up in microplastics in your brain. They're now finding microplastics in our brain and intercoronary arteries, and we're out there counting calories? Really? Let me know that turns up. When we've got medical proof that this is assisting our body in removing chemicals from the body? That sounds pretty good to me. So Jenna, does that make sense? Biff, I didn't show you my book. Did I? I didn't show a book. Oh, this book. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the TDOS syndrome. I don't want you to buy my books. That's not the purpose. But I want to prove to you that, I'm not just some guy. When you get a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office of a new medical syndrome, that's a pretty big deal. Because there's metabolic syndrome, there's syndrome X, and now there's TDOS. Look, you can all bury your head in the sand and pretend that none of this is going on. Oh, Joanne Gilbert Mackay said hi. Hi. But for the rest of you, you have an incredible opportunity to change the rest of your life. If you want to do it, you go to the website, see the medical proof, and then you get a free coach and do it or don't do it. But our goal here is to show you how to... I don't see your previous messages. Can you respond to my previous messages? I thought I did. You were telling me, basically you're trying to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm done with you. Finished. Over. Bye. I'm not going to block you, but I will. I don't have time. I'm changing people's lives. I don't have time for someone to argue something so ridiculous like thermodynamics applies to human beings, because it doesn't. Calorie counting is dead. Over. Finished. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. That's good enough for me. If it's not good enough for you, I'm sorry. Then find Oxford or someone else that will agree with your point of view. But Jenna, does that make sense? So Jenna, right above her head in blue there, the new health conversation. Can you see that? I didn't see. Do you see it now? Right? The new health conversation. In blue, the new health conversation. Why am I so angry? Because you're promoting something that is an absolute disaster for humanity. That's why. My mother died of doing what you're talking about, calories in, calories out. Yeah, that's why I'm mad. Sorry. I'm not going to respond to you. I'm sorry. You're done. You're done. You've had your time. I've been very civil, but when it comes to telling me things like thermodynamics works, then I know I'm not going to win. I don't need to argue with you. I mean, do you have any peer-reviewed human trial studies on what you're talking about? Do you have any? Because the ones on diets are miserable. I'm going with Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. That's enough for me. Without any other, well, there's lots of other research to prove that. The shot, 40% of what they're losing is lean muscle mass, and you're trying to tell me on diets, that's what's happening. 25 to 40%. I don't give a damn what the name of the paleo, keto, diet, whatever. That's what's happening. But anyway, Jenna, do you see the website now? That, I just think that's enough. See you, CRB. It was wonderful having a comment with you, but now you're blocked for good, forever. I mean, that's the problem, Jenna, or Peaceful Poetry. We have people like that just for the sake they want to be. They haven't done the research. He hasn't been on, I don't think he's written 4 best-selling books and discovered a medical syndrome that's changing the whole world and did help develop something that is changing the world. I try to be as nice as I can, and then I explode, and I apologize to the rest of you. I'm sorry about that. So anyway, it's just silly to have to argue. Yeah, he's blocked. Okay, good. All right, so would anybody else like to ask me a question before I close this out? Because I really do need to. My voice is really going. And we're at 28,000 likes, so I'm a happy camper. So now it's 3:18 on the East Coast, and I'm happy to maybe give me an hour to do another call. And so, Poetry, I'll get a hold of you. I need to call some other people. But all of you, go to the website and get a free coach. Why wouldn't you do that, right? Somner, follow the live creator. Unfortunately, Sommer, I'm closing up this podcast. I'll be back on in an hour, so it'll be about 2:33, about 3:30 Eastern time today. So for the rest of you, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate the 28,000 likes, and let's change the world. Thank you all. Bye-bye.